Welcome to Patrick Roberts, Our New Timeline.
Hey guys, how's everybody doing? As you know, I haven't been putting very many videos out lately. That's too bright. But I don't even know what, I don't even know what to say anymore. This shit's getting crazier and crazier, and but I will tell you, if you guys walk through any, hey Chloe, hey Catherine, how you guys doing? If you guys walk through any supermarket, Home Depot, Menards, any kind of stores, if you look around, you'll start to notice the shelves are starting to get a little bare. They're covering it up as much as possible by bringing everything forward, moving things around. But you can tell if you look real close, certain items are running out and they're not refilling them. And I think things are going to start getting real. I mean, things that we've been talking about for years is coming. We are so close right now to the economy falling apart. Hey, Crunchy B, Nakitas, hello, welcome everybody. But now we have the CV19. We have a Mexican variant identified, increasingly spreading across North America right now. It has recently become prominent in Mexico, and similarity to the other variants present to mutation in the spike protein of the CV, the Mexican variant was identified by a research group of University of Bologna. Bologna. It looks like Bologna. Sorry, y'all, I'm driving, but a nice warm hello to all of y'all here. Well, thank you. Drive safe. KFC ran out of chicken. Are you serious? Yeah, it's happening. It's happening. Go take a look at all your shelves. Go to your local supermarket. You'll start seeing things, here and there are missing, and they're not restocking them. Plus, the prices are outrageous. Also, in the news today, our favorite doctor, you know who we're talking about, U.S. Surgeon General warns unvaxxed people are increasingly at risk as more CV variants develop. So, sense of optimism sweeps I've noticed too now. There's a lot of people that aren't wearing their mask anymore because they've gotten the jab. Uh, it was great. Oh, never mind. Can you guys read my comments? Yes, we can. Welcome, Annie. So, I mean, uh, so we got a mixture of, and it kind of pisses me off. It pisses me off that there's people out there running around without their mask on because they got the jab, and now it's like you have the people still wearing their masks that didn't get the jab, and the people who got the jab. I mean, I liked it when I could tell. I liked it when I could tell who was fighting against this because they weren't wearing a mask, and it was easy to tell who was standing up. Now we're all mixed together, and it sucks. And now we got this new variant coming out. How I don't get how the jab protects against the new variant. I mean, is this thing supposed to be protecting against all these variants that are coming out? I don't get it. And that thing that they did about bringing out saying that anybody who had the jab try to stick a magnet to your arm, that is such bull. And I asked people last time I was on the show, I'm like, now I know why they brought it out. It's to make the people who were out there saying, trying to get people to do this, how crazy did they look? How crazy is that putting the rest of us in that boat, that are trying to wake people up? And that just kind of, I mean, these people aren't stupid. They really know how to get under the skin of us truthers. Yeah. I've had so much time to think about. Um, Hold on 1 second. I will be right back. I gotta go grab something, but I'll be right back. Okay, hold on. All right. Uh, I just wrote a few notes down to kind of remind me of stuff that I was gonna do a live like 4 days ago, and then I just never got around to it. lately I've been just feeling so like worn down. I feel like just worn down. But what I wanted to say about waking, waking people up, I kind of was going back and forth. At first, when this first started, I wanted to wake people up, and then they didn't want to wake up. They didn't want to listen. So figured, well, maybe they're not meant to be woken up. Now I'm kind of going back as it's not about waking them up. It's not about waking them up. It's about warning them. We don't have to wake them up. We have to warn them though. And if they don't take the warning, then that's on them. Then they have nothing to say when they're in front of God and say, "Hey, you were warned not to take that jab, and you did." So, I guess I just keep trying to warn people. I guess is the best way. Instead of saying I'm trying to wake people up, I'm trying to warn them, and by warning them, that's what we're supposed to do. By warning them, that gives them the option to choose. And if they choose the jab, they chose wrong. Uh, don't let the bitches get you down, Patrick. Hey, Algo, how's it going, buddy? I just heard they shut down the Pfizer one. Did they? Um, thanks, Catherine. You notice too that they're talking. Uh, their big points that they're trying to spread now is that the reason why we're losing all this food and everything because these companies are being hacked. And they're saying all these big companies are being hacked. So that's why they got to raise the prices of certain things, and we're running out of certain things because the companies are being hacked. And we all know that's a bunch of bullshit. We know that's bullshit. Um, and I was hacked, and I feel bad that I even talked about it because that's like spreading the the big, all these bigger companies are being hacked. That's really a false flag. Hi, the little guy was really hacked. Um, Catherine says, I keep feeling, falling, failing at waking people up, but I'll try to go the warning route. Hey, hi, Elgo, how are you? Yeah, Catherine. I mean, that's the conclusion that I've come to. If we if we can't wake them up and they don't want to wake up and they don't want to listen, at least we're warning them. We're giving them the option. We're doing our job because I believe that's what we're here to do. We were never here to wake them up. We were here to give them that option and let them know what the truth is. And if they don't want to listen, that's on them. At least we did what we could do. Um, and that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm not going to push anybody to try to wake up. I'm not going to push people into looking at videos. You know, that was just straight up ridiculous trying to get, oh, look at this, you know, and try passionately to talk to these people and give everything that you got to try to wake them up. Don't bother anymore. Just warn them of the truth. Let them know what's going on, and they can take it or leave it. Hey Esther, how's it going? I hope you are well. Yeah, I've been okay. I've just worn down. Um, I know. Don't feel bad, Esther. I keep missing his streams too, but I still watch him. He's been doing some pretty long ones too, 3, 4 hours. I'm like, where did this algo come from? What else do I have for you guys? Russia, Russia, Russia. Yeah, that's another thing. They're throwing everything, blaming Russia for everything. Trump was involved with Russia. Now Russia is the one that's hacking us. Russia is the one that's hacking our big companies and stuff. And I was watching the newscasts and they're like blaming everything on Russia, and I'm just like, I'm thinking of the Brady Bunch, Marsha, 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 Russia, 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 ha 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 ha. But okay, so they're blaming the hacking on Russia, but my hacker was from India. Any of you guys ever sign up and try this DoorDash? Whether you used it to eat or for people to bring you food, or use it to try to get a job, through DoorDash. I signed up for it. They really do some intensive background search and shit. So I'm waiting for that to come back and see what they say. Because I'm thinking, I wouldn't mind getting out there, running around. I do that anyways, really, for lots of people in my area. Why not get paid for it, So, we'll see. Everything's like falling apart anyways. I don't foresee it lasting too long. I mean, who's really going to be able to afford to eat out soon? I mean, shit. At this point right now, if you ordered like something from Domino's, let's just say you ordered like $12 worth of stuff. It's going to cost you $20 to get it, unless you get off your fat ass and go pick it up. If you want to deliver it, it's going to cost like 17, or with tax and everything and delivery fee and tip, about a little over $20 for $12 worth of food. Not even. Yeah, about $12, I guess. It gets expensive though. The delivery fee, the tip, etc. Yeah, exactly. Yep. That's what I'm talking about, Catherine. So I know, I'm a boring show. If you notice, my wall is all naked back there. That's because I'm not in my office area. I am in my living room because I didn't feel like going in the office. I wanted a little change of scenery, you know. And so, if anybody would like to come on, I will put the link in there, and anybody is more than welcome to come on and chat. Ask me some questions or tell us what's going on in your area. Crunchy B, I'd be nice to know worry about anything. I think not. Wouldn't it be nice to not have to worry about money? Yeah, the new normal. Gets Cammy. Oh my god, I forgot about Cammy. I keep forgetting that Cammy cannot she cannot text in here. So let's see if we can bring her on here. Hold on.
Holding on. About to move scenery
Welcome,
myself.
Cammy.
I was commenting as you're mentioning Russia and hacking. That is not why they're getting hacked. Y'all are getting hacked because the government's dumb enough to be running computers that are 25 years old with Windows 95 on it, and a child could hack them. They need a smack upside their stupid head.
I don't even believe that they're being hacked.
Well,
You
they
know, these
are.
big companies.
And I know they are because the system here in Canada, same problem. The actual payout for everybody's money for this stupid COVID thing disappeared for a little bit because all of the accounts got hacked. The whole thing got hacked. And they had to get everybody to reset all their passwords because the government runs Windows 95 and hasn't upgraded since Windows 95. And they want to know why they're getting hacked because everybody knows how to hack Windows 95. I mean, that was taught in schools. They need to upgrade their system and spend a little bit of that money they're hoarding that they keep sending somewhere to upgrade their system. If they just had something Microsoft could even protect, because you can't protect Windows 95, there's nothing for it. So they are having their own personal coders try and code in stuff to defeat it, but it's Windows 95. I mean,
I forgot. I keep forgetting that you cannot write in chat. And
no, just to make sure, I still can't. I did double check every time and I checked just in case it's like a 2-week ban and they'll lift it or something. But no.
man, it sucks.
Right, so you're watching me get all.
Yeah, I mean, I forget. I mean, if I would have remembered that you can write in chat, I would have put the link out there a long time ago.
I got off at 7, so I had to take a couple of buses and then walk like 6 blocks, and so I've literally just got in and poured a coffee.
That sounds good. That sounds good. Coffee. I should make some. I should have made some coffee.
But I'm sitting there listening to you talk, and I'm going, the hackers are coming from every direction. Whoops. They are blaming. They will be blaming anybody to start a war because, well, that's how you depopulate and make money, and the government likes doing both. So we're at a time for that anyway, and they need an excuse to start a war. So whichever one sticks, that's why they're throwing shit at China. They're throwing shit at Iran. They're throwing shit at Russia. Whichever one sticks is where we'll go to war.
You know, they're trying so hard to get a civil war going on top of it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they are pushing.
Not working very well because they only have a 40% group that's falling for their shit. They would like to say that most people are not. Most people are pretending. They're going along with a lot of the shit, which I know angers a lot of you, but they're doing it because they don't want them to know they're wise yet, because it's not okay to play your cards too early. They'll just run you over. So there's a whole lot of people watching and planning, and everybody's plans are all over the place. None of us are unified, which really sucks. Because if we had one game plan we could work with and unify, that would probably work. But try to unify this population, which I kind of get why they want to call. I mean, when you have 7.8 billion people, try to get them all on the same page for anything, just any one thought other than we want to live. And still, you're going to find the odd person who's against that because, well, people are stupid. And I might point out how people are stupid. I was watching the Icelandic volcano because it's very relaxing. It's like a lava lamp. Anyway, some idiot decided to run up the edge of the cone to get a selfie of a volcano that is currently spewing hot molten lava at record speed. That was kind of amusing. He was saved.
Yeah.
Luckily, God was watching over him because the lava parted around him and underneath his feet did not cave in, but he was walking on hot lava tubes that are barely crusted over. So he could have fallen through at any time.
We love you too, Esther.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I can't say anybody really see any chat.
Algo says hello, Cammy.
Hi.
Catherine says hi, Cammy. Oh, Crunchy says hi, Cammy. Sucks your block from Jack.
I know. And everybody swears.
So you can see the chat, right? You just can't. You can see the chat, but you can't.
When I'm on my computer, yes. When I'm here, no, because the chat doesn't come up. And if I go to the chat area, it kicks me out of here.
Have you tried to intervene when you're on the Facebook? When you're on Facebook and you see chat?
I haven't used Facebook for 5 years because
what did
they
you
were.
say that you see chat on?
Oh, YouTube. There's literally live cameras of it on YouTube, which is great because when you just want to relax and you don't really want to listen to arguments because nobody there is arguing. That's the other blessed thing is there's nothing to argue about. It's a volcano. It's spewing. There's no questioning it. There's no motive. It's just spewing. So everybody's actually being nice there, which is nice. And the mods there are really fictitious about making sure you're talking about only the volcano stuff. If you try and talk about anything else, you get banned. And I watched a few people get.
Catherine, love you, Esther. We need to learn on each other. It really helps. Meant to say this earlier. Thanks for doing your live streams and videos, Elgo. I saw one the other day. What in the heck at Cammy? Wow, screwed what up at Esther? She's talking to everybody. She's talking to Elgo, Esther, Cammy.
Well, just everybody.
I haven't seen Elgo do a live in a while, though.
A couple of days at least.
While. How many days?
At least a couple of days that I've seen. As briefly on.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing in the last 4 or 5 days at least. Actually, what's his name? Doesn't think volcanoes are real. He also doesn't believe in the Mandela effect. Well, yeah, who else is that that's on?
Seen the volcanoes? Well, a volcano. So I'm pretty sure they exist. Well, we're witnessing them now. My idea of what exists actually changed with that double slit experiment. It kind of proved to me. Really happy it proved God.
I see so many changes. It's just everything's changing faster now. And
have you heard of the
things look heard of what?
The double slit experiment.
No, what is it?
It was a scientific experiment trying to prove that matter reacts in a certain pattern. Science was trying to be all provey. And instead, what they did is they proved the word of God, which was awesome. They proved that matter is solid and reacts one way when there is a visible person to witness it. Take that away, and all matter reacts like a wave and does not act like it's solid anymore. It acts like spoken word or a wave, which means we can prove that everything here actually is both solid and not solid energy. And that it can all be spoken into existence because they proved it themselves.
Algo
And
wants me to ask you about your magnetic sun.
oh, what about him?
Oh, I don't know. He said just ask Cammy about her magnetic sun. That's it.
Oh, probably because I
I'm
probably
fairly
haven't
sure
talked
the
to you about
double
it.
slit experiment is nonsense, but that is just me. That's Algo. What about your magnetic sun?
Oh, my son got his vaccine. So I decided to check to see if he would have a magnet stick to him, and it did right on his vaccine injection. So I went and looked
No
up
way.
why that happened and posted online. You can look at it on my YouTube account. It's a 17-second long video. Looked it up to see why, because, well, it's my kid, so I need to know why he's magnetic. And found out that everybody's going to be, so when they tell you it's not magnetic, they're lying to you. You go look up the research paper from the guys who invented the MNRA. The MNRA is magnetically activated, so it has to be magnetic. And that's right on their papers. They show all the reasons why and everything with all the charts. So I bookmarked that because everybody's trying to tell you that you're full of crap if you say it's magnetic. You're just a conspiracy theorist. I'm like, so you're telling me the vaccine people who made this vaccine are conspiracy theorists then? Because they're the ones saying this. Here's their paperwork with all their names attached to it. And I have it bookmarked.
Obviously, you didn't hear the first part of my show, did you?
No, I told you I just got in when I logged in. I logged in, listened for like 3 minutes, and put up the link. But you'll see a lot of people trying to say you're magnetic everywhere. You're not, but you will be right on your injection site. Yes, it is supposed to be magnetic when they activate it, which is why nobody's reacting yet. They haven't activated it. Nobody that I've talked to has had them stick a magnet over to do anything yet. When I did that to my son, the next day he was nauseous. And then it slowly went away. So he's got to go in for a second dose because he doesn't believe me. And of course, mommy's crazy. But I'm kind of hoping that because I activated his separately that he's not going to react as badly. But I pity anybody who isn't going to do that because I have a feeling they're going to react so badly when they activate it. Because he felt nauseous with just half a dose.
Is he going to get another? Is he going to get the other one, the other jab?
Friend who is married to someone who has a weakened immune system, and so she's so paranoid she hasn't let anybody come over in over a year, and he wants to go visit his best friend. So that is the only reason. Even though my son says I'm crazy and he doesn't believe anything I say, he still wasn't going to go get it until this happened. And he misses his friend enough, he's doing it anyway, even though he knows it's bad for him.
Hello, Tobin. And Tobin says hi to you, Kiwi. Yeah, okay, so early on in my show, I had just talked about how people were talking about where they got the jab, that they were sticking magnets to it and it was sticking. And I was telling everybody that they're making us truthers look like a bunch of idiots.
They are. That's why you've seen them string up in front of Congress and shit. We're trying to stick it here and anywhere but where they actually got the fucking shot. That's where you're magnetic. It's only on your shot. I'm like,
yeah, I'd have to say that for myself.
The ones on the news, when they talk to conspiracy theorists on the news, they get the tinfoil hat wearing, craziest guy with the hair sticking out and looks like he should be locked away. That's the one that they put in front of the camera. They will not put one that would actually have documentation to prove shit because they can't take the chance of us proving anything.
Crunchy B says, Catherine says that that's their plan, make us look foolish and crazy. Crunchy B, watch the video I put up called Magnetic Nanobots. They can squeeze through a blood vessel and can be controlled with magnetic frequencies. They control them with a PlayStation controller.
They've had that out for 10 years. I hate to tell you, that's already in people testing and has been for 10 years. It's for something completely different. But yes, that's out there too. What it is telling half truths, and they're letting it intermingle so that when you talk about it, you're going to sound stupid and crazy, and then they won't believe anything you say that's truth because you made one mistake somewhere. And that's what we have to fight, which is so sad. It's sort of like they won't listen to you if you've spelled a word wrong, because then you must not know what you're talking about, so they miss the message because of the means. The whole world is doing that.
Hey, Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt is in the house.
Come visit us.
Algo says for sure, Crunchy D. It is hard to accept the truth of this mess we are in for sure. Catherine, wow, we'll watch your video. That's incredibly scary. Joe Dirt, what's wrong with my hat? I like tinfoil. Highly recommended the fashion statement.
Now, my theory on it, now it's only my personal opinion on this. I don't think what we're getting right now is going to be the one that annihilates everybody. I think they're setting everybody up so we feel a false sense of security, because they're already talking about having to get a booster at 6 or 9 months or a year or whenever, when it wears out. I think they're going to get everybody set up, and when most people are willing to take it and we're all going in, that's when somebody's going to, or we're all going to be given, or a group of people, whichever it is they decide, because we don't really know what's going on. Anybody who says they know what's going on, other than God, nobody knows what's going on. We have some really educated guesses, but that's what we're still doing, right? We don't know. But my best guess, just because of the way we're all, and by all I mean a large portion of the world, is very untrusting of what's going on right now. I don't think this is the one they're going to use to actually do a large portion of us in. I think we're going to be lulled into a false sense of security first, where everybody thinks it's nothing. And so you'll see about 85% of the population will go in for it, and that's when it's going to hit.
What's going to hit?
They're going to give us, well, let's just say they'll pull a Johnson & Johnson or a Bear on us, and they will give us a tainted supply of something. So when people get sick, require a lot of medical treatment before some of them pass away, because it's not necessarily about just killing us. It's about suffering, draining, killing your spirits, and making people give up. And they can't just kill you if you're not going to give up, because they're not winning at that point. If they kill you and you're still fully in your own, then they've lost. So what they need to do first is get a whole bunch of people to give up. And then that's when it's going to happen. The false sense of security has to happen. I keep looking, because it's when we're going to I honestly think it's going to be around the time we get world peace. And we're not there yet. They keep wanting war. So that's our one glimmer of hope, because when world peace comes, we're in real trouble, as much as that sounds awesome, because it's not really going to be lasting as long as we want. Not when they make world peace.
Calvin said my Sniffles' dad just had brain surgery for 2 blood clots in the head after he got the jab 2 months ago.
There's going to be
a lot better.
15% are reacting, but that's not a depopulation agenda. 15%. Depopulation is when we're taking out a large swath of the population. Right now, they're weeding out the sick, which is bad enough. Like, that's already immoral, and as far as I'm concerned, worse than anything. But we have not seen the tip of the iceberg of what's coming. I've even got wind here in Canada anyway. I don't know how it works in the United States, of how they're lifting slowly all of this oppressiveness that's coming, because July 1st, apparently some of it's lifting. We're going to get partial border opening for vaccinated people, of course. The masks will stop being mandatory.
For the BC people.
No, for all of Canada.
We don't say that word, that BC, the BC word. We keep that out of our catalog. Ripped it out, just like we say the jab. Get rid of that word, because the algorithm.
But that's how it's been officiated. I only know this because my son walked into his manager's office, and the paperwork for his big box store for how they're going to be lifting all of the suppression shit is there, and masks are no longer going to be mandatory. They're going to be suggested still, but they won't turn people away for not wearing them, which is going to be nice.
Mhm.
But that's the only one that I've seen for sure. And then I've talked about lifting much of anything else until September. So all of a
So
sudden,
yeah, I'm thinking they are letting everybody believe it's safe and we're going back to normal. And then when October, right around October hits, that's when it's going to be lockdown. Shit's getting really bad. We got this really bad strain that's ripping through
I'm not
and
even
dropping everything.
a month, because I think it changes moment to moment depending on what the population is going with and how much they can convince. So I think it's an ever moving plan, because it was supposed to be 2021, then 2025, and then 2030. And so they keep moving it around based off of how we're reacting to it. That's why I keep telling everybody that there's a bigger group than we think. It's just a lot of them are keeping quiet, so they don't know exactly how everybody's thinking, because if you lay out all your cards on the line too soon, it won't play out well. And then you do no good for your cause. And so there's a lot of people who are lying quiet and just watching. I actually call them the watchers, because they know what's going on. They see it. They're not in agreement with it, but a lot of people seem to think they're going along with it. And I'm like, kind of publicly, so that they're not attached to more lists, because the lists are growing immense, and the data collected right now is just immense. And I'm really curious to see what they do with all of this, because it's a lot of shit they're collecting. And I know it's going to be used against us, which is why I think that's our next goal, is to make sure that we are okay with everything that we are about ourselves, everything that made us us, everything we went through to this point, all of our mistakes and errors that we made to learn and get to be the person that we are today. We have to be okay with, because it's all going to be brought up to be used against us to try and get us to sway.
Crunchy
Bribes,
Beast,
oppression.
Crunchy B says, "Have you seen Childhoods?" And Cammy, it has that scenario of world peace. Have you seen Childhood's End?
No. I get the scenario of world peace because it tells us that's going to be just before the end in the Bible. That's how you know you're at the end, because the world will declare peace, and we will have a false peace for a little while. That's supposed to come after World War III, which we're unsure of whether or not it's going to be, because it's the whole world fighting each other, or if the entire, what we want to call world, whatever shape you want to believe it is going to be fighting the aliens. That's one way to get peace. It's to have a bigger enemy, so we all have to band together, because, you know, we don't need to bicker about our differences. We got to fight this bad guy. And I don't know if they're going to be pulling that one just for control, or if they're going to pull one and get us really, our saviors.
They're really pushing that agenda, though, aren't they?
It's an ever-changing, ebbing one with the same end goal, but their means to get there, they have so many different means that they're tweaking it on the fly. It's a live action exercise, and they change their plans on the fly based off of our reactions to their live plan. So they throw something out there. If it sticks, they run with it for as long as they can. If it doesn't stick, they throw something else and try to distract, and then bait and switch to try their plan across. And it's ever changing, with the main goal that I've noticed that's always the same is we're losing our freedoms everywhere. some countries never had them, so they didn't have much to lose. And so, like, they're already at the millions of people rioting in the streets and whatnot, trying to do their thing. The reason why we're not is because we have a very cushy lifestyle here in North America. Same with most first world countries. And so there's not a big push of people that want to actually upset their cushy lifestyle, because they know if they poke the bear too much, it's all going to go away, and they're not unwilling to handle having all of the cush go away. The ability to get water easy, electricity, know where your next meal is, know where home is, and know that it's stable and safe. Nobody wants to give that up. And so they're unwilling to just make the first step. It's sort of like when everybody wants to be greener and you hear everybody go, oh, me, yeah, greener, greener, greener. And then you're like, well, who's going to be first to make all these changes and the sacrifices? Nobody puts their hand up. Nobody wants to be the person to make that step. They just want to appear like they're making that step. Because it's scary. We're scared of change. And so it's baby fed to us. That's why our is baby fed to us over generations. You do it slow enough, they won't notice. It's like boiling a lobster or a frog. If you do it slow enough, they won't try and escape.
Hey, Prelim. I was also telling people about, if you go into your grocery store or your sporting goods store or your lumber store, wherever you get like an Ace Hardware type store, any store you go into, if you walk around and look close enough, you will see items that are missing, that aren't being refilled. And slowly but surely we're losing items. It's like,
when they do come back, they'll be in limited supply of fruit.
Yeah, if they ever come back. I mean, look at the chip situation that they got going on, where all the vehicles are sitting on speedway parking lots, and there's no chips being sent over from China. So here all these brand new vehicles sit, and it's starting to run into different categories where you need them for different electronical items.
Well, then I guess they're going to have to go back to old technology, throw in an old engine that doesn't require a chip and that you can repair with the drop of a hat and a few screws and an elastic band and a butter knife, and be done with it. What it is they keep wanting fancy tech. They don't want stuff that you can work on in your backyard anymore. That's been forever. They've been trying to yank all stuff off the roads.
I mean, they took a lot of the businesses overseas, and so we don't
want North America strong. North America was way too strong, and you guys have all the guns. So what they've done over years, a couple generations, is they've slowly taken the jobs away, and they've given you guys cushy lifestyles and more breaks and lots of vacation and enjoy this, and here's some more relaxation, and now try to find someone with a hard work ethic. We don't have anybody willing to learn. You get all these people, they're out of a job, and there's no job market for them anymore. Stuff's closed down, or their things closed out, or it's been usurped. Nobody wants to go get re-educated to do something else. They just want to do what their status quo is. Nobody wants to learn anything new. Like, everybody's complaining there's no computer chips for cars. Well, China's not the only place that knows how to make computer chips. You guys could make them right at home. You're not. Why? Because we're being lazy and we'd rather buy them where somebody else made them for cheaper.
Aldo says Chevy announced they aren't going to have their trucks turn off at the stoplight now because they have no chips to do that. Annie says, I'm old school, even had a couple silver javelins, and I could change the spark plug level. Yeah, I mean, I always thought about buying an older vehicle, because I mean I don't know
Would love,
shit about vehicles, and
love it.
I could change the spark plugs and the alternator, or
Mechanically speaking, the cheapest vehicle to own, I know everybody's going to hate this, is a Honda Civic. The reason being is because Honda Civics for 10 years, 5 years in either direction of its date, can inter-swap parts. So you can find parts at wreckers all the time. Somebody's trashed the back end of that Honda Civic and you need an engine part, you dig it out of that one. If you need a body part, you dig it out. It costs you next to nothing to maintain. You can fix almost anything in your backyard. And the engine hasn't been reversed yet, as long as you get old enough. Before 1985. After 1985, most engine companies reversed their engines so that even if you need your oil changed, you need a fucking mechanic. And that's so stupid. And he hated it. And he was an automotive mechanic, had his full license, interprovincial, to be able to work anywhere in North America, and then went and learned auto body so he could build a car from the inside out. And he was so pissed off at the automotive company for what they're doing, because they're making it so that people can't do that. You cannot work on your vehicle at all. There's no interchanging. They want you to pay a minimum of, and at the time my son was 5, he's 26. So 20 years ago, it was $75 an hour to be able to fix your car. And that's shop rate. That's what they want. Now it's probably way through the roof. And it's nuts, because if you get an older car, you can fix almost anything, like fan belts. His biggest one, if you got a squeaky fan belt and you don't have lots of money, you get a bar of Zest soap. You wet the bar of Zest soap, you rev your engine and run the bar on the fucking fan belt, and it'll fill in the gaps and get it to stop squeaking. That is what most mechanics do, and charge you $75 an hour to do it.
Welcome, Smurfer Girl. Pre-Lim says, everyone I knew worked like slaves, but we had fun. Esther says, I just want a clothes dryer. And Prelim says, to me, the 90s, it was normal to work double shifts and work 3 jobs.
Yeah, but the jobs you're doing isn't technically not doing a lot of stuff. Like, we have a lot of laborers who will build houses and shit, but where are all the technical jobs with all the electronics? They shipped anything that is currently what you would need to do to compete, to stay in the market, has been shipped overseas. So North America used to be the richest country in the world. It is nowhere near it now. You guys are in so much debt that they're lying to you when they tell you you're the richest country in the world. You have a lot of debt, and other countries have bought it up. And when they call in those debt credits, you guys pretty much get wiped out at a drop of a hat. Exactly. The country who has most of your debt credit is China, the one you guys are poking. So keep poking in the nice credit. And then
isn't
that
a country anymore, it's a corporation.
A government plan, I think. So that they have someone to blame besides themselves for bankrupting the country. Because it'll be China's fault because they cashed in all the notes, but they sold China all that debt. So they did it themselves. So when that happens, remember, when they're blaming people, it's them, because those people couldn't have done it without their permission still, which is really sad, because everybody keeps like tossing the blame ball around, and realistically, it's all backwards. They'll blame the non-voters for what's happening in the government because you didn't vote. Well, no, they're the only ones not to blame, because everybody who voted those robbers, criminals in, you're directly to blame for what they do. You put them in there.
I don't know what's going on with your screen. You're okay now, but it was like turning different colors and shades.
I'm being locked again. Remember, anytime I'm talking truth, they mess with my feed and shit happens.
Are you being electronically harassed?
Oh, I'm sure they are trying. But it's only harassment if it bothers you. And it doesn't bother me. This is what the problem that they're having. I don't give a crap. And they can get mad, they can throw a fit, they can take things away, and I still don't give a crap because they can't hurt me. And that bothers them. It's mad that I'm happy all the time too, and I know it's the ones that are meant to irritate me. But they get outright mad that I'm happy. And it makes me immensely happy that that happens. Because I know what it is. Just because I'm winning.
Prelim says cashier jobs, pizza jobs, or pizza delivery, cafe, counter clerk, movie theater, vendor, restaurants. Smurfer Girl says looks like Russia will start the snowball if they're really dropping the dollar for the euro. I highly doubt that they're dropping the dollar for anything. I think the dollar is going bye-bye because
dollar for an electronic currency, and that's after everything crashes, but everybody around the world will crash. That's what most people don't understand. Everybody in the world owes everybody else, and everybody's in hundreds of trillions of dollars of debt. So nobody has money, nowhere in the world, really. We're all playing on credit. And we have been since 1927, 35, whenever they gave over the shit to that freaking, you guys sold out pretty much, and your dollar turned private. And ever since then, you've been in debt. And they keep showing you physical markets to tell you everything's fine. Well, that's great, but they're not showing you the market that counts, the credit market. Because everybody's in debt. There is no actual physical markets. They're showing you what gold and silver are traded at, but we don't get access to those kind of funds for... It was 10 generations before they gave out all the sicko money to everybody in the last year and a half. So now that they put us that much more in debt, it's probably more like 25, 30 generations before there's anything where they would consider it possible freedom. Our children and our children's children and our children's children's children are all already pre-sold into debt. That is why you have to get a social security number, and we need a social insurance number. And around the world, everybody's given a number. That is your debt number. You are responsible for paying at least $1 million in your lifetime off of that debt. That is any uneducated $1 million. If you're educated, it goes more.
Algo says, oof, I might be the last guy on the internet who gets kicked off due to connection problems. And Smurfer Girl says, to me, hard labor is being a fast food manager with a staff who sees their job as disposable, so they might show up. Then at 6 a.m., you get to run the kitchen and the drive-thru. That is, yeah, exactly.
It paid us so
well said, whatever that is, this is Aldo. Whatever that is close to slave labor for the corporation, and often the franchise carries the burden. So, Cammy, what do you think?
The slaves that are carrying the burden mostly, because we have to figure out how to live on the peons they're feeding us. But they've created this problem and made it 10 times worse because it was already there before all this started. But now that they've been handing out money, I don't know about you guys down there, but up here they're paying out enough that most people are making more staying home and collecting money for staying home than you could working a full-time job making minimum wage. Why would you go back to work to make less?
Right, exactly. That's what they're doing all over the place, and that's
creating a job shortage.
They want to destroy the economy. If people don't want to go back to work, the economy's going to fall.
They want to control it immensely, and what they're going to do is they're going to use something to create it out of you. But what they're going to do is they want that basic universal income. I'm sure you've heard of it. They've been
Yeah.
working at it for a long time. This is a test run for it. See how many people will actually bite the biscuit and not go back just on their own with it and are willing to just live in poverty, and which is really crappy because here they're paying people $2,000 a month, and that's going to be the new poverty line. And I work really hard to make that. I make about that working all the hours that I do, doing all of the extra stuff. And today it was extra bad because it was a little slow and I hate not working. So instead, I took down the newly ordered t-shirts and I folded like 100 of those and dusted a whole bunch of shelves and stuff because our cleaning lady is off and not in town. And so I did a whole bunch of extra jobs I didn't have to do on my normal wage, which do that too often, that's going to be something they think you're just capable of all the time. And I'm not. The only reason why today was special is because it was very rainy and nobody wanted to come in to shop. And so there was a lot of downtime. And I hate watching the clock because if I do that, it's like it ticks backwards. So I just fill it with doing things so that the clock moves. And the boss likes it, of course. But it's not
Joe Dirt.
People. Because it's not.
Dirt, I totally agree with you. If you're a good worker, you will work just as hard for 50 cents or $5. Best advice my grandfather ever left me. And the way I look at it is, if you're working for a corporation, I would not put my full. You wouldn't want to hire me because I would not put anything.
You're not
in
do that. It's not the corporation is going to enjoy you and appreciate you. It's because somebody else who's running a small business is going to come in and watch you overworking and being underappreciated and offer you more an hour to come work for them. And that's how you get appreciated.
I would work harder for a small business or myself.
Right, but no small business is going to hire you with the experience of seeing you at another store not working and slacking off, because they're going to know you as the slack off person. They hire you because they see that every time I've come in here, you've been working really hard. And how much are they paying you? Can I, pay you $5 an hour more to do that at my place? Like, that's the bump up I've ever got was because I was being underappreciated somewhere else long enough that somebody noticed. And so you get a bump up. And most
Crunchy
people
B says
big picture.
Crunchy B says I've never made $2,000 a month. Busted my butt for $7.60 an hour.
Where are you paid $7.60 an hour? Because minimum wage where I am is $15.20.
Well, that just went up, didn't it, Kim?
It did, but it was $14.65 before that, so it wasn't like really low. They've been slowly increasing
$2,000 a month.
Now, here's the sad part. That's what I'm making now. I'm making less spare income than when I was making $7.50 an hour back when the economy was set at a more comfortable pace, because it was more balanced.
Right.
Because rents have jumped way more, bills have jumped way more, food costs and gas costs and everything all went up way more than our minimum wage went up. I mean, hell, cigarettes alone have tripled in price when we've gotten like 2 raises on our wage, and the raises didn't double.
Come on in, Crunchy or Joe Dirt.
Visit.
Girl. Come on in. Algo, any of you guys.
Monopolizes.
More welcome.
I feel lonely when I can't chat with anybody.
Oh, what?
I said I'm not here. No, I'm not saying you. That's why I'm here in the chat. I'm not like disappearing so somebody else can see, not because I'm being rude, but because I just don't want to disappear and not chat with nobody. Everybody can come on. I can mute my mic and come speak.
Yeah, I wish we could get that figured out. I feel really bad that you go in.
I know, and everybody that I've talked to swears that, well, if if you haven't been notified, then it's something to do with his channel and he should be able to fix it. I said, he's blocked and I'm not blocked on his stuff.
Right. I don't know if
they're
you
like,
were blocked.
you and unblock
you're
you, and
blocked,
if he can see me.
if you're blocked, there's no way that you would be on live, right? I mean, you can't block somebody
If
and then
you
put them on live.
YouTube, there's no way for StreamYard to know that. So StreamYard would still let me on. But you would also see me on your list and you would be able to unblock me. And the fact that you can't see me at all to unblock me is what's got me. I just think that's hilarious because, and I'm going, well, I could switch to my alt account, but they already have those linked together. So chances are it's already blocked because it's on the same thingy. I don't have to sign in or anything. It's just, it switches me to a new name. So I'm sure that one's already blocked too. So that tells me I'm probably going to have to start a whole new channel if I just want to be able to chat, which is so stupid because I don't have anything linked to that. So now I'm going to have to switch back and forth to try and figure out whose pages I'm linked to that I want to switch over. And I don't have time for that kind of shit. If they're going to put me through that kind of bullshit, they're just not going to get $100 and something out of me every month for internet if they want to keep fucking with me. And they can look back to see how long it's been since I've had cable TV to see if I'm serious or not. Because that's the thing. I can pick up and drop their technology bullshit real easy. I don't require it for my happiness. It's convenient.
Yeah,
don't get me wrong. It's fun.
It's so funny.
But will not never break me and will not be happy or sad.
I was paying $35 a month for
Oh, I wish I could pay $30.
for internet. $35 a month for the internet, and it's running slow as shit, right? So I call them and I say, "Hey, this is running really slow. I'm not able to do the things I want to do on because I live stream a lot." And they're like, "Well, it's not set up for that. You need a higher megabytes or whatever." So I jumped up to like 200 megabytes, and they said that would be plenty for live streaming and bringing it up, more tabs and stuff. And da 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 da, and it didn't do a fucking thing as and move faster at all.
Live stream, they're thinking you're going to be putting out one video. What you're doing is hooking up a whole bunch of people's different video and putting in way too much info for what they're like. As far as they're concerned, what you would require if you wanted to do, if you explained to them what you were wanting to do, they would charge you an office fee and hook you up at an incredible expensive rate because you need it to be a high bandwidth for multiple openings to do many people in your chat. Because the more people you bring in, the slower it gets because you're trying to shove so many people's streams in because I'm putting out so much information for it and you're putting out so much information. And just because more people are adding doesn't mean less information. It's just more. So it's just giving us less per second as it goes along. That's why it's a finite amount. And you'll notice after a certain amount, you just can't really stream too many. But he's glitching out and shit.
But even when I have one window open and I get on YouTube or whatever,
it's because the best got you at 200, which means that time, if nobody's sharing your line, you're going to get 200. You're never going to have that. How many people in your area are on your line?
And I'm still getting buffering. I'm still getting buffering.
You're all sharing the same line, whether you like it or not. They'll sell you higher amounts, but if everybody's got it, their line can only max out at a certain amount. And if they put too many people on it, you're still going to slow, regardless of what they sold you. They just charge you more money for the same shit. And that's, by the way, another corporate secret of them. After a certain amount, you're just paying for them to pretend to bump you up. They'll sell you a better streaming service, but it's not. They don't even flip a switch. They just turn it off and turn it back on and tell you it's been upgraded. I know people who are doing this. The guy that was talking to me about my internet, and he gave like 300 feet of extra cable and all sorts of different shit. And he helped out a lot. He didn't charge me a lot of shit. But yeah, he was telling me he was quitting in a week. So he didn't give a shit anymore.
Hey, welcome, Elgo. How's it going?
Patrick Roberts, our new timeline.
Hey, I'll go.
Hi, Cammie. How are you?
I'm a little exhausted, but I'm on day 4 or 5 of work, so I should be exhausted if I'm doing my job right.
Well, there you go. Copy that. I'm on day 6 of 7.
See, so you're exhausted too.
And I don't wait. No, my job's stupid. I work hours that I don't even want to talk about. It's ridiculous. But anyway, the reason I wanted to jump in here, Patrick, was because I appreciate the fact that all the stuff you've been through, the fire in your apartment, the battles you had with Walmart over your mask, all the stuff you've done, you always still show up. And I appreciate that like tenfold. I went through some weird stuff in my channel, and I made some videos and I deleted some videos, and it was just a weird thing a couple of months ago, but I came back and I'm doing the best I can. And you, in the meantime, you're steady Eddie. You just show up. You talk about what you want to talk about. You have the people on you want to have. And it's something that, as a person who does streams, I totally respect.
Thank you. Although I haven't been on too much, lately.
Well, no, you haven't. I thought you got a copyright strike.
No, I'm just feeling so worn down. I'm like I wanna do the lives because I enjoy talking to you guys, but it's just like I just feel like I'm that I don't really have. What the fuck am I gonna talk about?
Right.
What I know there's so many things going on to talk about, but it's like every time I press go live, I fucking go blank up here, and it's like, and I just feel like an idiot most of the time.
Can I
Wipe your memory? Of course you do.
Can I share you a secret that I don't want to tell anybody, but I will tell you and the 16 people who are watching here? And of the 16 people, there are only 9 thumbs up, and shame on you guys. I forgot too, so I'm going number 10.
Yeah, I'll do it later.
Do it later. Do it now. Come on. No, I'll tell you.
And if I do that, I will get bounced out of here, and I won't be able to come back.
Okay, stand by, Cammie.
I can wait until I go inside after I'm done my joint, and then I can load it up on my computer and do it from there.
Okay, cool. That'll be awesome. But stand by. I got to give Patrick a secret. And nobody else should know this. And anybody else who's listening, this is a secret of mine, and I'm going to share it. So I got to the same point. I was making videos. I was trying to share the things that I understood about this realm with people. And I did, just as Preliminal said, we all need ideas and inspiration. And I decided I was going to mimic a channel named J. Chris, where Jason Christopher would talk about a few Mandela effects, and then he would have people call in. And all the people that called in gave something to the stream. And when I hit that wall, I was like, well, crap, I'm either going to bail or I'm going to talk to people. And I started just taking people one at a time and listening to their story. And the energy that other people are willing to share is the most amazing thing to me. And it has nothing to do with me or my topics. But when a person is willing to go to Algorithm's channel and spend the time to listen and click a button and go to like a StreamYard they'd never understood and never been to, and they're going to sit there and they're going to talk with me, it's that's the thing for me. And that was the way that I could interact with people and continue to just keep doing this YouTube thing.
Yeah, I've noticed that Jay Chris hasn't been around for a while now, and you, I really enjoy watching your streams. If I can't get there while you're live, I do end up watching them. And you're right. Everybody that you talk to has a story, and it's awesomeness to hear their story. And
Absolutely.
a lot of people I don't think really realize what they are giving to the community when they are when they get on and they tell their story and stuff. I find your live streams so fascinating. You know,
Oh,
I
You
have
do that.
thought about just doing one at a time also, but I didn't want to copy you. So I thought I do have my own little structure. So I just stick with that because everybody seems to be happy with it. You know,
right.
if you want to come on, you're more than welcome to come on. If you don't want to come on, fine, sit in the chat or whatever in chat, no problem. But I do enjoy it when you guys do get on and talk because you guys are all very intelligent, and I feel for a lot of people that you have on really get deep into their stories, and it's just fascinating. And
Well,
whenever you have Ken on, boy, he can talk, and it's all fascinating. No matter how long he talks, and every word that comes out is fucking fascinating. You know, he's a funny guy.
Ken is a fan favorite, of course, and he's got a lot to share. And the two things that touch me the most from doing it the way that I've been doing it is that Ken had mentioned on a stream, and he emailed me. He's like, you helped me realize I have a voice I can share. And I mean, that touched my heart in a way that I can't even express. And the other thing he said was, I realized that if I'm in your place, I'm safe. And that was a big deal to me too. Because, I don't know people's lives, and we come online and we've known each other for a couple of years in chats, but we don't know each other's lives and our every day-to-day stuff. And if I'm expressing with somebody or somebody's expressing to me, and Rebel TV gave me a story about him doing a car wash, and Buzzacino gave me a story about his grandmother who had passed, and they were like so powerful. And for me personally, if I can be the facilitator of that for anybody who listens either on live or in the future, I feel blessed and lucky because it's not me doing it. I have no special talents. I am not a broadcaster. I was not trained in any of this nonsense. My videos honestly kind of suck, and I try my best, but when people are willing to share their personal stuff, to me, I'm actually very humbled every single time somebody clicks that StreamYard link to come say hi to me.
Yeah, no, I get you. I definitely get you from that point. Whenever I have Cammy on, I don't really need anybody else because Cammy just steals the show, and she has very interesting information, and it's always been very interesting to hear Cammy because Cammy, and no matter what subject you talk about, she has information about it. So that's cool. And every time you get on, you spike my. I feel a lot better when you're on here, because I look up to you, man. I really do.
Oh, that's so nice to say.
I like your show. You got good content. I've known you for a few years, and anybody really can go back and, like you said, you don't really, we really don't know each other, but if you go back to 2017 and watch my videos all the way through, you can tell my life story is out there. My life is out there.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, I don't mind it. I don't, whatever. But I wouldn't want to get kicked off and have all my videos taken and have no backup. I haven't gotten around to backing them all up,
We should back them
No,
up.
I would
Wait.
hate to lose all the videos.
So Patrick, you don't have an Odyssey ODYSEE channel?
No.
You have to get one. It will automatically, it takes a day or two, it will automatically back up everything you put on YouTube. Go to odyssey.com, make a channel, follow their nonsense. It will back up every single thing you've ever put on YouTube. And they're doing streaming now, which is where I'm going to end up going.
Uh-huh. Is that
Because-
like do they ask you, like, do you want to connect, like, when some of these things you sign up for, they say, do you want to use Facebook or whatever?
They don't.
Do you-
They don't do any of that. None of
Okay,
that.
how does it back everything up? Like, how does it,
What
like,
it does,
take-
it goes into
so you'd be
YouTube.
able
And
to view all my videos from there?
I'm sorry, what it does, it goes into YouTube and it sucks all of your videos into their server.
So anybody would be able to view all my YouTube videos.
On Odyssey. Yeah, and LBRY.TV was the initial one. And Odyssey was the parent company. And they're the same entity, but they're going to get rid of LBRY.TV in favor of Odyssey because it's more streamlined. It uses less bandwidth. But if you get an Odyssey account and you fill out the stuff and you put in your YouTube channel, it'll do it. I had 231 videos that sucked over there, and it took about 6 hours. Not on my computer time, but on their server time. And every single YouTube video I've made, except for the live streams, go over to there. They have some kind of weird issue with the live streams.
Oh, wow. Because most of mine are live streams.
Right, I understand.
That was-
And to answer Crunchy Bee in the chat real quick, Jay Chris made that Us You Me video, or he changed his channel. He deleted every video he had ever made. And I met him in 2018, I'm going to say, when he first started doing Mandela Effect videos, which is where I've met a lot of the people who are here, including, I think, yourself and Digi and, Mike. It used to be it's Mike on the Mend, or Mike, whatever, but he took all of his videos down. His wife had a baby. He got busy. He's not doing the streaming thing, but he's a really smart guy with a really good heart. So, I mean, that was just a side note for Crunchy Bee, but on Odyssey, it will, everything you've posted, it won't take your most recent live stream, but if you left the live stream up, it will go grab it and it will put it in there. So check it out, Patrick. It's the only way you're going to survive the YouTube purge is Odyssey, Rumble, and several other platforms. But Odyssey is the one that grabs it all with no problem.
You mentioned another good guy that we haven't seen around in a while.
Digital Intel.
Yeah,
Digital.
I miss him.
I do
I
too.
wish he would. I wish he'd come back. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are gone for one reason or another. I know it's really bad over in Australia, and I wish him the best. I would wish he'd at least check in and let us know how he's doing.
Can I ask you a question, Patrick?
Yeah.
When you sit there and you want to make a stream, but you're blank, and you do something else, and then you whatever, I think Digi, his name's Mark. He does have a YouTube channel. It's Mark. Let me think. Mark Radio 77, and you can find it. He puts his music up, the music he makes. He was a big time DJ in Australia, and he did all the big venues with all the big people. And he puts Mark. I think it's Mark 77 music on YouTube, but when he wants to sit down and talk about a honest, hardcore, truther, Mandela effect video, he's blank. He sent me an email 3 weeks ago. I called him out. Okay, so sorry. Do you guys have time, or do you want me to shut up?
Oh no, go ahead.
Okay, so like 2 months ago, I was going to bounce on my channel. And I had some personal nonsense going on in my life, and I was drinking too much, and I was eating too few vegetables, and I was just going to like throw it away. And a very good friend of mine said, wait a minute. There are people who come to you and have given to you, so you owe them to not do that. So I thought about it. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. You know, you're right. And so I regrouped, and I said, okay, I'm going to change my channel a little bit, and I'm going to get a camera, and I'm going to upgrade my tech. And when I brought that back, I mentioned him in a video. And I said, you know, there are a couple of channels who just left, and it left people in the lurch. And Digital Intel was one of them. He commented on that video with like a sarcastic, yeah, whatever remark. But then he sent me an email, and he said, the time I left, it was the best I could do to maintain my emotional health. And you know, and Cami knows, and a couple of people in the chat that I've been reading, when we do this stream thing or these video things, you're giving up all your emotional energy at that moment for anybody who might hear it.
Right.
Is that right? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but mine I've learned is refillable at a drop of a hat.
Which is great. A lot of us haven't, though,
I mean,
Cami.
when I get done with mine,
I could just magically show it to everybody, but it's just I can even explain it, and it still won't make sense to people who aren't ready to do it. So,
Well, no, right, and you can refill, and that's great, but I can't, and most of us can't, and so you go out there in this digital realm, and you're doing your best, and you think you found this great topic that's going to change people's lives, and you're gonna help them make their family better and their children better, and you put it out there, and you get 5 views, and you're emotionally wrecked.
you get 5 views because you're being suppressed, because you're absolutely correct.
Well, maybe you are, maybe,
But
but Cami, maybe you are, maybe you're not. You got to look at both sides. You got to look.
That's the thing is, it's good for a percentage of the population, because not everybody's going through it. It's not going to help everybody, because not everybody needs that particular piece of advice. But there's going to be a percentage of people it is.
Right.
And whether it be 5 people, 100 people, does it really matter how many people you helped? If you helped one person,
Well, no, right, but
and feel better, is that not enough?
no, that's plenty. But my point was, it doesn't mean you're being suppressed.
Yeah, you are. If you've only had 5 views, you even
it doesn't mean that. It doesn't mean that. It might be true, but it might not be true.
For the most part, yes. If you've only got 5 views, it randomly cycles through many people's things and auto feeds, and there are people who have autoplay on, and it would just randomly get you a partial view just by that autoplay. Even if they skipped it after 5 seconds, 10 seconds, it would register. So
Okay,
the fact that it's registering that kind of proves that they already said it kind of is, because what it is it's not, they don't call it suppression. What it is they're promoting certain videos, which means certain videos are getting priority, and it's not you unless you're in the group or in the know, or they like you for some reason.
Okay, so, but I still have to disagree with you, and I want to do it respectfully. You may or may not be suppressed, and you never consider the fact that you may not be being suppressed. You might not be being suppressed.
I consider it when I saw the list of people who are being suppressed, and you would be shocked to see the names on that list.
No, I wasn't. You sent it to me. I totally appreciate that you sent it to me.
I didn't send it to you, and I'm not talking about that particular list.
Okay, that's fine. But I guess my point was, as a person who is going to sit there and try to create something for other people, if you get views or if you don't get views is not the point. But for anybody who does it, if they think they're being suppressed without any factual evidence, that's a red herring to make you not want to make videos.
Well, it depends on how you look at that. In the end, what it is everybody's geared to look at everything in negative, because that's what this whole place we're in is geared toward, is notice the negative. You talk about the negative, you remember your bad dreams, your good dreams go away, but you remember your bad dreams. Everything here is focused on the negative. And I try really hard to only look at the positives of what every situation, even a bad situation, is offering to me, because that's how God works, is he takes all of the evil, negative things that we perceive, and he can teach you and bring you out of it and mold you for the better for it and still help you in the end. And that's
Well,
been in stories too. If you look at all of the stories, like I like reading them and looking at all the different layers, because I look at it, it's a truthful story, but you can also look at it like the lessons you get in a fable story, where you read the story and then it tells you a reason why this particular rule or whatever is in play. Even if it's not a true story, you're still getting a story and a lesson out of it. You can even look at it like that and still get a lot of good out of it. And that's
I'll go. What were you,
pattern.
what did you say? I'm trying to listen to Cami, but I'm trying to remember my response to you, and my response, everything just went. Okay, I remember now what I was going to say.
Tonight.
It takes a lot. It takes a lot. When I get done with the live stream, I'm totally cashed. I'm like fucking tired, but don't get me wrong, I love talking to you guys. I love doing this, but it is like, maybe in the back of my mind, every time I want to get on here, I haven't been on here for a while, and every time I want to get on here, it's not only does my mind go blank, I don't know what the hell to talk about. I feel I don't know if at the end, I have to get up at 4:30, so I want to make sure that I'm fresh, like in the morning. I don't want to be until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning and then get an hour's sleep and feel like shit. And yeah, I could go on earlier. I've told myself, but I like this time because I like it. I don't know if you all can make it earlier, and I don't want to miss out on talking to everybody that comes in here at this time. But yeah, no, I totally get what you're saying, Elgo, and that's exactly how I feel. It's do I want to burn the energy? And I don't know. I feel so fucking drained. Even when I don't even do the live streams, I feel exhausted. I feel like there's nothing left to give. I don't know.
Right. And I would ask you, in this time of last year, this year, the nonsense, the things that are going on, with that drained feeling you have, when you go on and you stream, whether you do it by yourself or you get people with you, does that give you energy or does it take it from you?
It gives me energy when I'm on with you guys.
Right. Exactly. It does.
I pep up a whole shitload when I'm on with you guys. And I feel so drained when I'm not on with you guys. And I feel drained during the day. I just feel like, is anybody really even getting anything anymore out of? I mean, I'm just a guy who is sitting here talking on a damn video, and I don't know, I feel like I'm, like I just feel like nobody's listening. You know?
Can I give you my perspective of my day today?
Sure.
So I woke up this morning at 5:15 Mountain Standard Time. I took a quick shower. I went to the racetrack. At 6 a.m., I opened the gates. I brought in 500 racers / show cars with a couple of guys. They helped me. I didn't do it by myself. I towed 4 cars. I attended to 1 medical with my medic. I kicked 2 people out for alcohol abuse. I kicked 1 guy out for doing burnouts in our parking lot. We wrapped up the day at 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So I worked a 12-hour day today. I came home. I took a shower. I had a leftover burrito, which was fine. It tasted good. I sat down. I watched a little bit of John Levi's new video, which I totally suggest you guys. John Levi, if you don't know John Levi channel, get over there because it's super smart and he's doing some cool stuff. And then I saw that you were live, and because I appreciate your honesty, after that day, I clicked it and I wanted to say hi to you. So if you ever feel as though you're not reaching somebody, my body's tired. I hurt my knee again today. I've got my knee brace on and ice right now. But I came here because of you, Patrick. That's why I'm here.
I really appreciate that.
Well, no, yeah, you can, and yeah, fine, but, and I'm glad you do, but anytime anybody gets into this digital space and is willing to share truth, other people recognize that and they gravitate towards it. And that is exactly why my channel has the people that call in. I do my best for truth and they call in. You're doing your best for truth and I am here, my friend.
Yeah, and you got like 40 to 50 people in your I know you have a lot more subs, but you bring a really good crowd.
Yeah, but you have 21 right now, and you have 562 subs. So you're beating me on proportion. You got 21 people here listening to you and me and Cammie talk about whatever the hell we're talking about. Those 20 people or 21 people are interested. So I just say keep going. When it gets too hard, take a week off, take a couple weeks off, whatever. But never give this up because you are good at this.
Well, thanks. I appreciate that. And thank you, Catherine. And, thank you, everybody. I do appreciate, I love it. I love you guys, too. I'm glad that you guys come all the time, every time I'm on. I appreciate that. I really do. Salted Cedar is even here. Salted. But yeah, I think we chased Cammie away.
Cammie's here. It's turned off her camera.
I'm here. I'm eating dinner, so I'm turning my camera off and my mic off so you guys don't have to have mukbang.
Cammie's listening, but she's eating dinner, so all's good.
Crunchy B, that is really good for on 500 subs. You see people with 10K that don't even get 20 in their live.
I just have a question for you. You were talking about being tired and drained, and I want to know if you are grounding yourself for an hour every day.
Oh no, I'm not tired and drained at all. You can hear my voice. I'm very energetic.
To Pat right now, he was talking about being really tired and drained.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Tired can happen for you too, Algo. If you're not, take your shoes and socks off and go find some grass and sit with your body and your feet and your hands touching the grass. And I don't care if you meditate, listen to music, read a book. I garden. So, you can do whatever you want. Go fishing for all it matters. But take the rubber soles and socks off and put your feet either in the water, the sand, the grass, and spend some time with nature. Turn your phone off. Leave it at home. Do not bring electronics. You need to be back to nature. What you're feeling is a disconnect. and not enough people are remembering to reconnect. Plus, they're taking away our green spaces, and you can't hardly connect in houses anymore. So unless you have a nice old house and it's not full of electronics. But that's the quickest way to sort of regroup and get refocused and feel clearer about everything. And there's certain companies that actually will pay you to do that, and they won't let you work until you've grounded for an hour because you're more productive.
Allegedly, right?
Well, as long as you're someone with a work ethic, you're
No,
more.
I mean allegedly grounded. That's a big
Yeah,
thing.
I-
Right? People talk about that all the time.
But you
Yeah,
have
actually,
to.
tell me about that about a week ago. To ground myself, go outside every morning and ground myself.
So here's my
Kath-
question.
Oh, sure.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Patrick. Shout out to chat. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Catherine said grounding really works. I thought it was too weird, and I tried it. I love nature. It changes my whole mindset on life. Yeah, I love nature too. I love being outside. Okay, go. What? I'll go. What were you gonna say?
Well, and Catherine M., I think that's fantastic. If you feel better, do it. For me, if we're electromagnetic beings, which all the science and all the evidence points to our heart being electromagnetic, our brains being electromagnetic, then the nature aspect of it is a placebo effect, which is fantastic because placebo effect is fine.
No, it's
And
not.
hang on, Cami, stand by.
The magnetic amount off, and nature vibrates at the same magnetic field we do. So it's resetting us to the proper amount we're supposed to be getting.
But if we're electromagnetic beings, we don't need that.
You do with what the electronics we have around us are, because all of the Wi-Fi and all the signals around us are messing with our systems and sending it upward, just like it's sending Earth upward. I don't know if you watched the fields they're saying Earth is going through, but we're going through what they're calling a pole shift because we're imbalancing it.
Yeah, and for me personally, that's a mind virus. That's a nonsensical story, just like 9/11, just like no, Cami. I'm just saying, for me personally, that's a mind virus that is making people need to believe they need to do something other than being themselves to be whole. And I personally don't believe that.
No, it's not about needing to do something to be yourself, to be whole. What it is they're trying really hard to mess with us being whole, and it's keeping us where we need to be. You're just understanding the fight that you're in yet, and so you're not seeing answered. See, the reason why they're going all technical and killing nature off and paving everything over is because the cure to everything that they're harming us with is nature.
And I would say agree to disagree. That's a mind virus.
No, that's not. And when we were balanced with nature, none of this was ever an issue. We didn't have the sicknesses we have now. We didn't have anything that we have now when we were doing it. When we took over and started killing off nature and paving everything over and killing off all the trees and uprooting the old growth forest. First of all, you've got sinkholes now opening up all over the place. The more you cut that crap down, the more that's going to happen, because that actually holds the ground structure up, because what they told you about how the earth is made is a little bit wrong, and it needs that up because it's kind of hollow on the inside in a lot of places. And it's not going to be structurally.
The earth renews itself.
Absolutely.
Earth is a
100%.
live, living being that
the inside is wrong. And I can tell you that for a fact because they've never been able to get past 7 miles in to be able to tell what the inside is. The rest of it is a guess. Sort of like everything else they've been telling you.
Okay, so since you won't agree to disagree, I have to ask you, Cami. When was humanity in balance with nature?
Hey.
Hey, Chris.
Or
Hey, what's up?
Hey,
Nice to hear you. How are you?
It.
Doing
Now,
good.
God, I mean religion. Religion is
Welcome,
man-made.
Chris. Hey, I'll go. What? I didn't hear the question that you asked Cammy.
The question for Cami was, when was humanity in balance with nature? From your viewpoint.
Did you hear my answer?
No, we didn't.
I said before all the man-made religion came and fucked everything up and civilization happened.
But there's no evidence for that.
There is total evidence for that. Man, before we grouped into large civilized societies, did not have the disease we have, the chaos, did not have near the fighting. There were just
But really, you
As we-
don't know that. You don't.
large tribes. Then we needed a leader. With the leader comes a lot of ego and fighting, and then you start fighting other tribes, and then you have wars, and that is where the imbalance started. Is when we all had to be a group, and our group had to be more important than your group. When you were an individual person living in a cave, you did not go out and have a big ass ego battle with everything else around you because you were a little bit more protective of yours and your own, and you had bigger fish to fry. You had to eat. We have too much free time in our hands. With free time and idle hands comes evil shit. The more civilized we get, when we settled down, planted our food, and started living in civilization and getting together, that's when shit actually started falling apart, because people in power wanted to maintain power, and so they came up with evil plans. All of the peasants bickering amongst themselves and fighting over something called money, so that they would never see what the true value and worth and power is about, which has nothing to do with money. We keep still thinking it's money, and that the people with all the money is.
Chris, what do you feel? What do you think about this?
It's a crock of bull, but I'm trying to be nice. Evolution itself, cavemen had to get some type of illness, or else we wouldn't have the immunities that we have. The theory of evolution disproves that.
I'm saying we don't have illness like you see it now. There wasn't a 1 in 35 rate for fucking half the shit. There was like a 1 in 35,000, which is a way different number. When we group together and do all these civilized things, we make ourselves worse and stupider. I'll give you an example. 2,000-ish years ago, human beings knew how to build the pyramids and why we built the pyramids. We don't know either of those things today with all of our fucking vast knowledge and everything now. So we are actually stupider than 2,000 years ago.
Just look at the Washington Monument.
Okay.
Anyway.
Washington Monument is not a pyramid. And
No,
it was
it's
nearly
not a pyramid. We don't build pyramids now. Those are in the ancient times. But the Washington Monument stands on bricks alone, without any mortar, without anything.
On everything. And they do weird things. Like every once in a while, they shoot out beams of light into space and they don't know where or why. And I don't think we've ever been told what the pyramids are.
I'll go you.
What's that, Chris?
I said, I'll give this one to you.
Well, no. And I was reading the chat, and I don't mean to be demonstrative when I speak to people. I try to ask questions so I can learn. And when I hear blanket statements like everyone or everything or all of this, I am very suspect about, how do we know that? So when a person says a thing like, well, it's always been this way, or the humans built pyramids, my question is, how do we know that? And we actually don't. And there are a lot of interesting thinkers out there.
Well, there was a gentleman who was given the secrets on how to build the pyramid, and he himself, all by himself, built a stone amusement park in the United States. And you can go look that one up. It's still exists to this day. And he did it all by himself. And then he destroyed all
But
evidence
really,
on how
you can't be sure of anything. I thought I knew history, and my history's changing. Every day, my history's changing. How many times have they written history?
that people still are alive that can witness and vouch that he did it because they lived watching him do it.
Well, and Cami, I'm not disregarding the fact that Coral Castle is an amazing thing that we don't understand. But the point being is, if we're going to make definitive statements about a thing, we better be 100% sure. And from the Mandela effect, from the 7-Eleven inside job thing, from the beloved from last year, from everything that's going on, I think we should be at a spiritual point where we can be honest and say, we don't actually know.
We don't know a lot, but I'll tell you one thing right now. And sadly, it was really sad for me. The 7-Eleven thing, I told people about that 2 years before it happened. Nobody wanted to hear about it.
Well, okay, so good. So I mean, I'm that's amazing, but that's not the question. The question is, if we're sitting here talking about these things that affect our children and our friends and our lives, can we definitively ever say, okay, we know Coral Gables is a true thing? Can we really say that who built the pyramids is a thing? And does it matter? Because what probably matters is putting food on the table for your family, making sure they don't take a medical device that's going to kill them, and some of those things. So, and I'm sorry, I'm very tired. I worked a long day. I'm kind of being a dick, and I apologize to everybody who's listening, including Patrick, Chris, Cami, and me.
You're
You're
fine,
not being
Elbow.
a dick.
Or anything, but I hate to tell you, most of that is also muchly irrelevant. I know it hurts and we all care. And we would like to be able to change the outcome of that. You don't get a say in that outcome because everybody's free will and they get to make their own choice. And anything that you do that tries to affect that actually means you're working against what's supposed to be happening. You can inform people, they get to make a choice.
The only thing I know for sure is what is in my reality, what I can see. That's all I know for sure. You can't tell somebody that this is the right way when you really don't know.
Research, because I wanted to bring this up earlier and then we got off on many other tangents and I forgot. The reason why you said I sounded like if I knew a lot of what I was talking about and I covered a lot of topics is because I have been alone and sort of like a hermit for most of my adult life. A lot of that, I was unemployed and in the middle of the prairies in Saskatchewan, which I know most of you don't know anything about that, but it's pretty much 2 seasons, blizzard season and tornado season, so you don't get to go out. So I spent 15 years getting to know people across the entire world. Back when we had something called ICQ, and I made a lot of worldwide friends, had to weed out a lot of weirdos, because I wanted to learn things about people around the world and actually get to know the real facts, not what TV was telling us and movies told us, and because none of that is going to give you any real information. So I would seek people out in Egypt who could see the Nile from their living room and who could see the pyramids from their living room, which you can. And that wasn't a widely known fact. For a lot of years, people thought the pyramids were way out in the desert and you had to travel on these camels for a long time to get to the pyramids. No, you don't. The city's right next to them pretty much. It used to be a long, long time ago, like when they first discovered them. But as soon as they realized people wanted to see them, they were tourist attraction, like, you know, that's what everybody does.
Well, I haven't.
And it's, I can't say 100%, but it's observable facts that you can pretty much tell because you watch as each civilization rises and falls, and when it was stable, and then they would get together in a community, and then it became unstable, and then they have war, and then it crashes. I'll give you an example of a country who will give you a good example of this. You can look and watch it happen over and over again in China. But it's happened in Russia, it's happened in Europe, it's happened in France. Like there's not any one country it's happening in, it's people. And it's what happens because when you get a small group of people running things, inevitably they become corrupt and the system breaks every time. And it's just a pattern that's been happening for as long as we've had civilization. That's why I say the problem is civilization. It's not that I'm just picking on it.
I apologize. Can I cut you off here for a second? I just wanted to address the chat. I haven't said anything for a while. But we have a lot of new people in the chat. Brenda Mitchell is in the chat now, and I'm trying to get my little thing, my fucking whatever mouse thing to fucking work. Hey Brenda, welcome. Chappelle, welcome. And David Wolf, hey buddy. Joe Dirt. Let's see who else was in here. Trevor, Esther, Prelim, Smurfer Girl. Esther, I think I said that already. Catherine, I think I got everybody. If I didn't, I apologize, and you can yell at me in the chat. That way you will. I'll make sure I see you. And we have Chris on the panel, Cami, and Algorithm. So, okay, have you guys heard anything about the chips? These vehicles brand new vehicles are being stored on the race, like I think it's Georgia, no, Tennessee, right?
Georgia, Tennessee, and Kentucky.
Okay, yeah. The cars are piling up. There's no chips. I also heard that some other things that they had to stop making. I don't know if it was laptops or just regular home computers, but if we are getting all our chips from China, we get a lot of stuff from China. I did notice that every time I walk into a store, no matter which one it is, it's losing items. Are you guys seeing the same thing?
Yeah, actually, we went to the store this weekend and a lot of the frozen food items were gone. Usually it's very
Yeah, and I noticed. Yeah, I noticed one store I went into, they had brought everything, their items to the front of the shelf, and in the back, nothing. And they're even spreading more items out to make everything look full. And I just laugh. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? I hope people are seeing this because you guys need to get ready for. I turn my life over to God, so it's like to me, He'll provide whatever I need or whatever. I don't believe in the jab. Don't believe in having to stock up on shit. Although sometimes I want to, but I'm like, no, God will take care of me. Or Jesus Christ will take care of me, so I don't really need to stock up. Right?
Right. Yeah, I get that. Can I tell you a joke real quick?
Sure.
Okay, so the flood came and the rains are coming down, and it's like flooding everybody out. And they go by this guy's house, and it's up to the middle of his door, and he's sitting in his boat, and they're like, "Come on, we'll rescue you." And he said, "You know what? I'm fine. God's got me." And the rain keeps going, and his boat breaks, and then he's standing on his rooftop, and then another boat comes by, and they're like, "Jump on, man. We can get you out of here. We're going to save you." And he's like, No, God's got me covered. And then the rain keeps going, and he's standing on the top of his chimney, and a helicopter comes by, and they throw it on that rope you see in the movies, and they're like, "Grab the rope," and he's like, No, God's got me. And then the water keeps coming up, and he dies. And he goes to the other side, and he's standing there, and he's talking to St. Peter, and he's like, "I am so mad at you. I did everything I could to tell everybody that God had me covered." And St. Peter says, "Dude, we sent you 2 boats and a helicopter."
Yeah, I knew that. I had a feeling that's where that was going. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Um, yeah, of course, you need to stock up a little bit, but I'm talking about, we're spending all your money to stock up, because you know what? Like you said, God sent him all that stuff, and he didn't take the opportunity to see that. And yeah, how true that joke is, it's funny. God has you
Well,
covered when you were
Yes,
reminded to stock up. Yeah, you're right, Smurfer girl. What,
yeah, she
Elgo?
just.
Oh, sorry, Chris. Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was going to say the same thing you did. Smurfer Girl was pretty funny with that comment.
Yeah, exactly, Catherine. That's my point right there. So she says, excellent point, Patrick. Sometimes I get so scared about what will happen next, but if you are with God, everything will be okay. Just sharing my view. That's awesome. Yeah, I I agree. God's got this.
it's a good view.
Shappy, Brenda says, Shappy, yeah, everything's gonna be fine, and there's nothing you can really do to prepare others than just put your faith in God, prepare for the worst, and hope for the best. Boy, these elite just love draining you, don't they? I mean, they just love sucking you and watching people suffer. They love that. That's too bad. Too bad so many people got to suffer. Prelim says they should keep old telephone booths active because satellites and internet could easily go off from a solar flare. What were you going to say, Chris?
Did anyone see the new news on the CDC with this jab?
I didn't.
No.
Out the CDC website.
What
What's
does
going
it
on,
say?
Chris? No.
Well, I don't want to get him marked, checked or whatever.
Well, if you're saying what the CDC is saying, this all the
This-
strikes I've gotten, they said because I've gone against what the CDC, the information I was giving out was going against what the CDC uh, recommends. So if you're telling us what the CDC is saying, there's nothing wrong with it. Go for it.
The CDC said there is a spike in heart problems with inflammation in the heart from people from the age of 17 to 24 that had the Pfizer and Moderna vaccine.
Right.
Huh.
So these young people, more so in males than in females, but females have also been affected. They said they released that they were expecting some. So this is a reaction that they actually expected from the vaccine. However, it's way over what they expected.
Boom. Totally covered. Yeah, absolutely. When they said that, and that was the trick to me when I read that article a couple of days ago, and they said it was more than they expected. So they absolutely expected it to happen.
And what was happening? They're having a hole in their heart. What?
No, the heart, there's inflammation in the heart.
Oh, information.
Alba, do I have
Wow.
it right? Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. They had the inflammation of the heart. They also had AFib, and they had some heart conditions that they said was more than they expected. So when they put this out there, they expected that. That was the big thing
Right.
for me. Absolutely, Chris. I mean, that the last stream I did, that was one of the things I talked about in the very beginning. When if they're going to say that in that language, if we can trust the fact that that's true, they knew they were going to F people up, but it's been more than they even expected. Is that what you got, Chris?
Yeah, that's what I got from it too. I didn't get a chance to watch your show fully, but I heard it. It was on the news and it was on Facebook as well. And I looked up the CDC, and the statement is on the CDC that people between the age of 17 and 24, more so in men, that I did find in males between that age group than in females. But
Yep.
yeah, it's inflaming the heart and other heart conditions as well that they weren't pre-existing, from what I gather. That's from my understanding. These were not pre-existing conditions that hey, they just happened to show up after they took the vaccine. They were actually they were caused from the Pfizer and Moderna.
Absolutely created by
Created by
the vaccine.
Crunchy B says, weird age. That's like prime years. I thought you were gonna say older people. Brenda's or Dark Slayer. He says they don't want to cause a panic. And Brenda says, Shappy, yeah, it's generation. We're doing our own duty. And Chappelle said, are the people getting the jab NPCs? I don't know. Whoever wants to answer that one.
No. Can I?
Are the people?
Oh, go ahead, Algo. I was
Yeah,
going to answer too.
go for it.
Chris, you go first, please.
I wouldn't say that they were NPCs. I think they're actually being pressured and talked into it. If the people, like, as if it's a moral obligation, if they're a bad person, if they don't get it, and they're also targeting black people more so than they are white people. And the way they are targeting them is through commercials and through, I guess you could say, cultural differences, but they basically are targeting specific people.
Absolutely. And to piggyback on Chris, the radio commercials that you hear about that to get your vax to help the community is propaganda of the highest level. And so when somebody says a non-player character, an NPC, I personally don't think there is such a thing. I think there are people who believe everything they're told in this realm, and they believe the television, and they believe their parents, and they believe the school, and they believe everything, and they never question it. And I wouldn't call them a non-player character because that negates their soul. And I don't think God put anybody here without a soul. But I would say that if they can just follow along with everything around them, they're a non-thinking character. And I think NTC should be the term we use.
I agree with that, Algo. I agree with that because I don't think that we could say, if NPC, I guess, in a way, if they're being controlled by what they hear and what they see, instead of having the thought of their own to be like, hey, let me question this. If anybody's ever read the Pfizer box that the vaccine comes in, it says specifically, and also on the Pfizer website, do not have sexual relations within 30 days of having the vaccine.
Right.
And it's not just to keep people from, having sexual relations. It's because it's transmittable. The vaccine is transmittable, number one. And number two, because they know that the vaccine is going to cause some issues. And they have not publicly said, okay, those who get the vaccine may have problem conceiving. But basically that warning says that as well. So if
Right.
anyone wants to go to Pfizer.com or look at one of the boxes on that the vaccine comes in, it'll say the warning right
Yeah, I'm
on
getting
it.
a little nervous. You say vax way too many times.
Okay. Sorry.
Well, yeah, you can read the insert of the medical device that they're trying to put in people and that a lot of people have taken. And if they read that medical insert, they will see exactly what Chris is saying. And I guess for me, I have a crap job at a crap place with crap hours, and it's really helped me so much to not see human beings as crap. It truly has. And they do a lot of stupid shit and they put themselves in danger. And I'm the guy who's supposed to correct all that stuff. And so when I'm there and I realize that 90% of them have never picked up that box to read that, and they've never looked at that insert, and they're still going to do it based on media or their family or whatever manipulation goes into play. I personally, I can't fault them, and I don't feel sorry for them because they had their opportunity, but I have so much empathy that humanity is being ruled by a mind virus long before we ever got here.
Agree.
Yeah, the people here, they don't ask questions. They do not ask questions, and the common sense has seemed to have left them. This is a very weird place at that. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
we had to shift it again because I'm seeing way too many new things and seeing people are acting totally different. I mean, I just can't believe that this many people wore that mask all over the world. I mean,
So
all over the world.
Right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, without asking any questions. Just believe in what was coming through that black box. It's amazing. It's amazing what that TV is basically.
Programming. They tell you right in the name, TV programming.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, welcome, Boynik. Yeah, no, and to now put something in their body that they have no idea what's in it. I don't know, man.
Wait a long time.
It's like, what do you say anymore? What can you say anymore? To people.
You don't say. Demonstrate by example. Just be the best example of what you expect and want them to be and hope for them. And that's all you can do.
Chris. Yeah, I put the link out there for you, Chris.
I was wondering where she went. I'm like, oh no, where'd she go?
Before anybody talks again, I want to say this is why I love this community. You guys are all truthful and you want to spread the truth and everything, and we can disagree about shit and not blow up and take off and drop out of the stream or whatever. We can still get along and love one another even though we don't agree, and even though
Fine with people agreements with how I see things, how I've learned things, because it's how I see it from my perspective. I also am completely in the belief that everybody has their own personal reality bubble because we're all our own movie stars and our own lead in our own live stream, pretty much, which is life. And they merge, but they're not identical. And I don't expect them to be identical. My reality is not necessarily your reality, and my experience in life going through exact same experiences will be different than what you go through. Just how it is, and how it is for everybody, sadly. And sometimes you get to share reality bubbles. You go out with a friend, like, some people see it, they go out with a friend and they don't see racism until they're out with their friend of a different race. And then they see someone react out and they're like, they've never seen it in their town before. They didn't think it existed until they were hanging out with a friend and got to see it. It's just, we all have our own unique perspective to give on this, and we can all share them. And I'm okay with people with mine and sharing theirs, because nothing heard any less valid than anybody else's, because we're all valid and everybody has the same right to exist and believe what they want, which is also sadly why I have to accept when they don't want to believe what we're explaining to them is the truth and they want to believe everything the TV says to them. That's sadly their right. You've offered the option, which is all you had to do. And that's all you can do, lead by example. And when they want to know why you're happier than them or whatnot, it might be because you're plugged in a little less to believing what the idiot box is telling them. And some will get it and learn, and some.
I was reading Dark Slayer's comment. That's another thing, Elgo. You were naming off all the shit I've been through in the last year, and we forgot the fucking shingles on my face. That fucking hurt. It still hurts. I'm still numb up here. I'm still fucking numb up here, and it still itches like fucking crazy.
Has it been 3 months yet?
No, not quite.
Not quite?
Probably about 2 months. At least 2 months.
The next month it should fully go away.
I hope I get the feeling back in my forehead.
On the bright side,
Dark Slayer says, Shappy, I told her if she just lived in a hobbit hole, she wouldn't have to worry about any stinking shingles. Laugh out loud. That's what made me remind myself that I had shingles when you were naming all that shit.
Way more.
I've been through a lot this fucking.
You totally have, my friend, and that's another part of why, if I can ever catch a Patrick stream, I will always catch a Patrick stream, and I will always participate if I can. Because you've been through the ringer, brother.
And I got hacked.
Right,
I
lost everything.
I lost my Cash App card. Fuck. I had to change all my fucking passwords on everything. Oh my god. Yeah. But
Yeah,
I
exactly. But you're still here.
That's our superpower. No matter how many times we get kicked, knocked down, thrown down to the dirt,
You're still here.
pretty much near off, we get back up and we keep going.
You can knock me down and get back up. What's that?
Play
How's
that,
that
yeah.
song?
Sing that Chumbawamba song. Do it. I get knocked down, but I'll get up again, and you're never gonna keep
I
me
get
down.
knocked down, but I get up again.
You're never gonna keep me down.
Everybody's like going, "What this?" You
You know,
See you later.
funniest thing about that song, the title of it is "Tub Thumping"
That's what I just said.
by Chumbawamba.
Yes, it is. I have it on my playlist.
Yep. Yeah, so I respect the hell out of you. Cammy, you too, Chris, absolutely. I wouldn't be spending my time here with you guys, and I didn't mean to be dramatic about the hours I work. Fuck that. Everybody makes their choices. They just work what they work. But it was like an illustration. So anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
You've been. That's a lot of hours and a lot of fucking around. I give you credit. You're well. You're not quite 50 yet.
Dude,
But,
I'm way older than that. But anyway, keep going.
No, you're not over 50.
Yeah, I am.
You don't look it at all.
You're kind to say.
You look like you're probably maybe 38 years old, 40.
You were kind to say.
See Algo, by the way.
Do I know?
What, Cammy?
But why can't we see Algo, by the way?
Oh, because I worked for 12 hours today and I went and took a shower and I'm a mess. So no chance.
I didn't even home from work. You're
Prelim says.
Oh my
Prelim
God.
says.
Yeah, it looks about 25. Okay, thank you, Prelim. Smurfer Girl said the funniest thing. That's my favorite narcolepsy awareness shirt. I fall down, but I get up again. Dude, if you have narcolepsy and you fall down, but you get up again, I have got a gold star and a 1,000 thumbs up for that balls.
Yeah, I felt like a couple times I thought I had narcolepsy because I'd be like, no matter what time of day it was, I'd be like, like, what in the hell is going on?
Patrick, can you read the Dark Slayer comment?
Smurfer, that sounds like a shirt I should have for my epilepsy. Laugh aloud, just shaking that shit off on daily.
That's the funniest comment.
Yeah.
Sure,
Laugh aloud, give me a gold star.
Yeah.
Now I want to find that shirt. Hey, Mad Pieman's in the house. Yeah.
So
You haven't been around for a while, bud.
Dude, you've fallen and you can't find your beer?
Maybe my roommate drank it.
That is hilarious. The epilepsy shirt is the funniest thing.
Make it. Go to TV.
What?
Okay, so there's a new comic book coming out. It's Narcolepsy Girl and Epilepsy Man. And when she falls asleep, he shakes her back to life. And they solve crimes and they fight crimes.
My narcolepsy and your epilepsy, we'd be a dangerous duo.
That's where I got the comic book from because I read that. I'm like, so she's out there kicking ass and then she falls asleep and he has an epileptic event and he wakes her back up and then they finish the problem. Remember, bad guys go to jail, and justice wins, and everybody's happy. This is more fun than talking about the bullshit that we're dealing with, right?
Can I tell you what I went to Was. I went to. It's about. I went to a town about an hour away, and I stopped. I stopped on. As I was coming back, I stopped to get gas in town, and this guy comes up to me, a black guy, comes up to me, and he asked me for a ride. He says he got pulled over, and he was drinking. So they took him to the station to do a sobriety thing on him, and he was walking to his car, and his car is about 3 miles down the road. So I said sure. So I give him a ride, and we get to his car, and he says, "Oh fuck, I don't have my key. The fucking cops probably got my key." And I'm like, "Oh man, oh what the fuck?" And now he's asking, "Hey, can you give me a ride to the cop shop so I can get my key?" So I'm like, "Sure." So I I follow this cop right into the cop shop, and all these squad cars are all over the place, and I get the cop that's coming out of the squad car, and I get out of my car, and I start asking him if he knows this guy because he needs to get his key and all that. Well, he gets out and he starts yelling like, "You guys got my fucking key," and shit like that. And I'm like, "Oh fuck, man, what the fuck are you doing?" I was like, "You're not gonna get anywhere now." Now we've got 4 or 5 cops coming out of the police station, and he's just yelling. He's walking around the cops, and one of the cops came out. He's like, "Do you got an ID?" And I said, "What?" I said, "Yeah, I got an ID, but I don't. What the hell did I do? That I don't need to show you my ID." And he's like, "Okay." And he walks away. Looks like he's pissed. And I'm like, "Fuck." I'm trying to do a nice thing. This guy is like causing a big scene. Well, he continues to yell. They're trying to calm him down, saying, "We didn't even pull you over. It was the district before us. You got to go to that cop shop." And so this guy radios the other cop shop to see if first they radio the jail, and the jail has no record of him coming through there to do a sobriety test. And usually they do this, and I knew this. Usually they do the sobriety tests on the side of the road. They don't take you into the police station to do it. So, anyways, the more he yells, and he's getting all in an uproar. There's more cops coming out to check this out. Like, what the hell's going on out here? So at one point we had like 20 cops surrounded us, and so he gets in my car because I'm like, "Dude, you're not gonna get anything settled this way. Get in the damn car. I'll drop you off wherever you want, and we'll be done with this." So he gets in the car, and the cop said something to him, and he gets right back out. And he walks up to the cop, and he's pointed right in his face, and he's only inches away from this cop's face. And he's like, "You get my mother, effing key out here." And the cop kind of backs up, and he's like, "You're about ready to you're about ready to go to jail." And I'm like, "Oh shit." I yelled at him, "Get in the fucking car now, because I'm leaving." And sorry, I swore again. So I get him in the car. I take him to, I guess it was his girlfriend's house. And by the way, his girlfriend was with him. I don't know why they split up, but all his property, the key and everything, was given to his girlfriend. So I drop him off, and he's in the street yelling, and I'm not sure where he lives. There's houses everywhere, so I just was like, I just left. So
I'm at the police station.
So the next day, I'm driving through there, and I get pulled over for speeding by the cops, by one of the cops that was out there the day before. And I felt like it was retaliation. You know, they wanted, because I wouldn't give them my driver's license. You know, I was being a dick, maybe. But I told him, I told him, I said, I'm just asserting my rights. I did nothing wrong. There's no reason I need to show you my ID. And so, you know, I was speeding, but I just felt like, you know, I mean, my car is very recognizable, and we were out there for 20 minutes yesterday in front of the cop station with 20 cops surrounding us. I don't know. I felt like it was retaliation, but anyways, whatever.
Could have been.
It's done with. But what a hell of a day that was. And so here I'm telling you guys a little bit about what happens in my daily activities throughout the day.
Did you really like this guy?
What?
Did you really like that guy?
Did I like the guy?
He didn't even know the guy. Yeah, he didn't even know the guy.
I'm trying to figure out where in that storyline did you forget that you needed to protect you yourself above everything, and this was just some
I was
person
just trying to
drag you.
do a nice thing. It was hot out. It was hot out.
The beginning is fine, but he starts making a scene at the police station. That's you should have just got in your car and drove away and left him to it.
Yeah, I should have. Yeah.
Wait, whoa, back it up.
Situations like that too.
Back it up, Tammy.
Out there.
Tammy, back it up. When you say he should have.
For his own mental safety, he would have been much happier with the rest of his day and outcome.
Okay, so yeah, let's back that up one more time. And I don't mean to be so redundant, but in that moment, Patrick saw a human being being oppressed in a way that was unacceptable. And your big old heart is bigger than your head. And you have a big head. I've seen you. I've known you for a couple of years. You got a big giant head like I do. But your heart
go to a point where he wasn't going to do any good nor get his keys back, even if they had them, because of the way he approached the situation. Plus, he was Patrick in danger by doing so, by being in the vicinity, and Patrick just being associated to him immediately does. Now, I'm telling you this only because I grew up next door to a cop. So I got a lot of information from him growing up on how to not have them treat you like that.
Irrelevant, though. Irrelevant. Because in that moment, the point that I heard, from the story I heard, Patrick, and I respect it like tenfold, is that in that moment, that thing you had to do for that person meant more to you than any of the consequences.
What I'm saying is, when he thought it was retaliation, I'm telling him where that moment occurred is when he didn't. It's not like he wasn't being nice. I'm not saying don't be nice. Yes, you got him to the point where he got to the police station so he could locate his keys. That was what Patrick offered him, and he fulfilled his duty and then stayed extra to
Well,
watch
okay.
somebody then go about something. No, the outcome's not going to go right. He's dragging you with him, and he could potentially have gotten Patrick arrested over
And
something that had nothing to do with him.
Yeah,
agreed. But if he had
I'm a big guy. You know, I can stand up for myself.
right, and
And
if he had, Patrick would willingly take that arrest.
yeah, and I wish I
Right.
would have had it. Yeah, and I wish I would have had the whole damn thing taped.
Right,
You know,
and so
I didn't expect all that to happen.
How they're approaching it. If somebody's being unjustly arrested, then yes. But when you approach a police officer, you come in all aggressive, they're trained to think that you're going to snap and kill them. And so you're putting everybody's life in danger at that moment. If you're a human being that goes to the police station, you need to be aware of that, because there are enough people that are actively seeking to do that they have to treat everybody like that.
absolutely not. That's propaganda.
No, that is actual real fact coming from my friend who is a police officer.
It might be in Canada, but it's absolutely not, because
Texas,
I-
actually. He's a
I-
Texas ranger.
okay, so in Texas maybe he believes that, but I'm telling you, with Patrick, with Patrick's Walmart streams and Patrick's Walmart videos, when he pressed the envelope and they did nothing. They did nothing. They banished him from a Walmart. Well, big effing deal, because he went to the next one and he did the exact same thing.
But
the
We're
point,
talking Walmart. We're talking about something that is trained and armed right now.
Let him finish, though, Cameron. Just let him finish for a second. Go ahead.
Thank you, Patrick. The thing that I can see is, if you're willing to stand for justice from your heart space and your integrity, you're never going to fail. And I do that at my job every day at the racetrack. And it does.
Justice would be going up to them and politely asking for your keys back.
No, it
because
wouldn't be.
My property, please. That won't get you arrested.
You know, and
gets a better result he's doing.
But I would never have felt good just leaving him there. You know, then that would have been on me. That would have been on my consciousness. Just leaving him there, I couldn't do that to somebody. You know, I have to make sure that the person is where he wants to be, or her, and be in the right place for me to leave the scene.
As best you can be. Yeah, as best you can be.
Right, exactly.
It's going to get hurt on police property in full view of all the cameras.
Well, and so, Cammie, that's a fear-based response to the situation.
At the best of times.
No, stop.
I had no time really felt threatened. I mean, I knew the cop was upset with me, but at no point I didn't ever feel like they were gonna tackle me to the ground or anything. They were surrounding basically him. They had us all both surrounded, but there were 4 of them right, like there's a couple in front of him and like 3 or 4 of them behind him.
Like if he would
know what he was going to do.
And
they knew.
You can love. You have to let them learn their lessons. That's how people grow. And saving people from.
I don't know. I mean, you could look at it both ways. You could look at it as, things could have went badly, but I made sure I got him out of there so nothing did happen. And I feel like I was there for a purpose. I don't feel all that. what I'm trying to explain to you is it could
The
be
radar.
the other. You look at the other side of the coin too, and
Well, I will recommend to you the things that I caught in your story that would send a cop into panic mode in your story. Just from what I know about cops, because they actually wanted me to join because they like the way I think. I told them I
yeah.
couldn't because I'm too sensitive, and I would be very empathetic to everybody, and I would not do what your justice system wants me to do with people. And you
But
would
you
like
can't
it.
think of the bad things that could possibly happen, or you'll never stand for anything.
Exactly.
If you're always afraid that
Here's the
something may happen,
into panic mode about your presence alone. You followed a cop onto police grounds. You were following a cop.
Yeah. So what?
Into panic mode when you're following them. Because they immediately, when they're being followed, it's for nefarious reasons. That's immediately where they go. That's just how they think because they're always negative. Remember, we live in a negative realm. And I'm not trying to be mean or anything, and I don't support any bad cop. They're not all bad cops. Unfortunately, they're not willing to fight the system quite yet, but there's so many of them that the line is when they're told to go after American citizens and whatnot, they just are not going to do that. And that is their line in the sand, and they're not going to come after you and whatnot. That is the line they're unwilling to draw. But they do see a lot of the propaganda and have been brainwashed so much in the thing, and then the bad guys shoot at them. And so they get this panic fear mode that's set in them a lot. So when you follow them, they will immediately go into that panic fight mode because they've been shot at a lot by people.
They have not been shot at a lot by people.
Yes, they are.
Cops have not been shot at a lot by people.
I actually followed a cop and he sped up so that he could give me a speeding ticket.
It gives them an excuse to engage you, figure out who you are and what's going on.
No,
If you
he gave me a speeding ticket because he needed to make his quota.
do something to him and he disappears because they're constantly in that particular mindset. They're taught to be that fearful at all times. So I actually pity them because I don't want to live in fear like that. That would drive me insane. That's why I don't have TV, because I don't want the fear mode that they're programming.
Dark Slayer says there are good people in general. Just putting cops in a category is wrong. Everyone has their reasons, but
there are bad cops.
We're all hold on.
No,
but we're all sinners. Jesus died because we're good at heart, whether you see it or not. We are. I have to agree with that.
They really do. That's why, for the most part, even if they're in 100% wrong, try your very hardest to explain it very calmly and rationally, and you will more than likely make it through the exchange and out on the other end without much harm. Guarantee you. But the moment you stop doing that and start sounding the least bit irrational, they will treat you like the hardest core criminal. And don't always take it personally, because you have to remember they are in that I could die tonight mode. And humans do stupid things when they're in that panicky mode. And you got to still love your brothers and sisters. You have to be wary of them. Like I told you, I don't trust hardly nobody because we're not supposed to. Because when push comes to shove, when it comes down to life or limb, people are going to save theirs and their own. And you can't really fault them for it, because when it comes down to it, most of us tend to do the same thing when we're parents. You want to save your kid. And so if it comes down to saving a random stranger or your kid drowning and you can only save one right now, you're going to usually grab your kid. And it's not because you hate that guy, it's that you can't physically do both, and it's down to priorities, and everybody's got their own unique set of priorities. It's not any more sinful than anybody else's priorities. Because we all, again, starring in our own little movie. Reality bubbles. So I try really hard to be careful, and I'm not knocking what you did because it was great and I'm glad it turned out and nobody got arrested, but I'm listening to the whole story and waiting for the moment when they grab the guy and you have to wait for him to get processed and released a couple hours later, because that's usually what happens. Nothing really bad happens. They just try and scare you to do the right thing because they're
Well, if he
most
would have got arrested, I wouldn't have waited around. I don't know the guy. I mean, there's nothing I could do once
no
he gets arrested. I mean,
it's for to get arrested. I'm just telling you right now, that's when you go up to a police station, doesn't matter if you're in the right, if you go up with that attitude, you can get arrested just for that, because sadly it's sort of like government land. It's one of the places they get to make the rules.
Can I throw my 2 cents in here, Patrick?
Please do.
Sure.
You did the right thing for that person in that moment.
Yes, Patrick, you did.
And irrespective of all the what ifs and what could be's and all the nonsensical narrative about cops and civilians, it's totally irrelevant. You did the right thing for that person in that moment. And that is exactly the same thing you did at the Walmarts about 15 months ago and 13 months ago and 12 months ago, when you went in there and said, I am not going to comply, and you have to show me why I have to. And that, to me, all the respect. Because all that other stuff that we've been talking about for the past 20 minutes, it's fictional TV bullshit. It's irrelevant. What you filmed in your life, you literally took a camera into your life and said, I'm going into the Walmart. And you got booted out of Walmart like forever for for a thing that you knew was bullshit. That, to me, my friend, is the where the rubber hits the road.
How long has it
yeah,
been since
you really got to see what people were really like at the beginning of COVID.
Absolutely, and how they acted at you and how mean they were without even knowing you or without even knowing your situation.
Right.
So when I'm listening to stuff and I hear, well, the cops are this, the criminals are this, no, that's not true. That is not true. That is what the narrative has told us is true. If I can see a man who is willing to put his camera into his face and go into a Walmart against their policy and then ask for the manager and then ask why he has to be escorted off the property from the police, that is the guy that I'm going to listen to about how people react with each other. So I tell you, my friend, those videos you made last spring were so powerful and inspired me to continue my non-mask stance. I already had it because I knew it was bullshit, but those things you made last year were so inspiring to me to just keep going.
Yeah. The way, like I said before, the way we got to see really what people were like at the beginning of COVID, when you put up tape, you tape a section off, and then run it with some things that they put there to run it. I don't know, probably about 50 feet long, and you make an old guy who's 80 years old, barely can walk, has a cane. You're going to make him walk all the way down there and then turn around and come back up. These are the... So when I lifted the tape to let that guy, the old elderly guy, through, the one guy grabbed my arm and swung it off, and the tape ripped at that moment.
And they blamed you.
Yeah, and
I
the
remember
guy.
that. Yeah.
So I continued to let the guy say, "Hey, let this guy go through," and they were saying, "No, no, he is not coming through. He has to walk down there and back up. That's the way. That's the way we were told that this has to go. This has to go that way." Oh my God!
No, right. And you fought that for the next 3 or 4 months with
I don't
every video
know
you
who.
made, buddy.
Yeah,
How long?
and I know any one of you guys would do the same damn thing.
I hope so.
That's why I love hanging with you guys.
I
I
hope we
know
would have.
you would.
I know how to get them in. Ask the Walmart people. I used to work there,
What?
so I know. I said I would have been able to
I,
get the port.
had to-
I know the procedure to be able to bypass it. Sadly, you would have had to go find a manager and get them to let him do the disabled way in.
one of the managers what
The
it
dork
was
at
the
the
manager that was out there.
well, yeah, because he came after what he saw as a scuffle coming because of the tape and whatnot. He came in with an ego already. I would have done that before the tape thing and just got a manager and said, look, don't make this guy walk all the way around and whatnot. Like he's fucking disabled, man. Like fucking let him bypass. And I would have made them do it, even if they would have had to get a wheelchair to make it happen. I would have just thrown a fit on the inside. To the manager, they do
So one of
anything,
them guys,
any customer.
one of them guys
But you got to
that would
start with,
not let. I thought I was gonna have to fight this guy because he
oh,
would
yeah.
not let him go through. And finally, he let him walk through. But I couldn't believe the reaction out of these two
with the back
guys.
hour.
Just couldn't believe the reaction. And
Hey,
I hope they're still working there because I want to go back there. I
I was
want to
going to
go
say,
back there.
I've been banned from there because if it's been
Without
over a
the
year
arrested.
by now, I know they said you're permabanned, but I've never seen a wall or a book where people were actually permabanned, and I worked there for many years. There's nothing like happening. So unless the same security guard that kicked you out and whatnot is working that day, and chances are they've already quit and found another job, it's Walmart. Nobody stays at Walmart. Then they're not going to remember they kicked you out. You could probably go back in.
Is Chris trying to talk? Chris, are you trying to talk?
I'm here. I think you did the right thing, Patrick. So,
It's so hard to hear you.
Said he didn't. I'm just he
I
didn't
said,
to get
I think you did the right
really
thing,
is
both with your buddy
what ended
and
up
with that older guy.
not. I'm not even denying that he was targeted. I can guarantee he was after that.
I
Mostly
didn't say anything about targeting. I mean,
because knew him.
I said, Patrick, you did the right
Uh,
thing.
Cammy, and Cammy, just go. Say it again, please.
Oh, I said that he was most definitely targeted. I wasn't saying he didn't do the right thing. I'm just saying when he said he got pulled over, well, if you didn't want to get pulled over, these are the steps that it would have, you've made mistakes, and this is why it
Okay.
ended up happening.
Got
And
it.
I was
So Chris,
Yes.
from
the floor is yours, Chris.
No, all I was saying was, Patrick, you did the right thing, in my opinion. That's it. It was not directed at anybody else except for Patrick.
Right. No,
And-
you're right. But elaborate for me, please. I'm a guest here. I shouldn't be saying this, but you and I have spoke before, Chris.
Yes, we have a lot.
Yes,
of
we have. So yeah, we have. So lay it out. Why was that the right thing?
It was the right thing because not everybody has to hit rock bottom to learn a lesson. You helped out a friend. You helped out someone you felt was in need. And that was the correct thing to do. Whether his approach or your approach was correct or incorrect or appropriate or inappropriate, the act of the matter was you tried to help. Not everybody has to hit rock bottom to realize that they fucked up. Excuse my language.
All right, keep going.
So, as far as what you did for your friend or your acquaintance, whatever he is to you, was the right thing to do. You felt he was in need, and you did not know that the situation was going to blow up to what it became, but your intention was good.
Oh yeah, and I didn't even tell the part. I didn't even tell the part where when I picked the guy up, he asked me for a ride. I said yeah, no problem, and he shoved money in my hand because I was going to pay for gas, and I said no, you don't have to give me anything. He's like no, and he pushed my hand away, and I had the money in my hand, and he was pushing my hand away, and I'm like, okay, I'll take it. Chris, can you mute yourself? You got your mic is like
Yeah,
going all over the place.
It only happens on your channel for some reason, so I don't understand. But I wanted just to comment
So
as far as like him giving you money and stuff. That was actually his way of showing you gratitude.
yeah, well, okay. So he shoved money in my hand. I went in the store to pay for my gas when because his money was like all folded up, you know. So I opened up the money, and there was 4 $1 bills and a $20 bill, and I said, well, my first thought was I know that he probably doesn't even know that he gave me the $20 bill. So when I walked out to get in the car, I threw the 20 at him. I said I don't think you knew the $20 bill was in the ones that you gave me. And he goes, oh man, thank you. I thought that was funny. But yeah, I forgot about that. And after doing everything, at the end of everything, when I dropped him off, I said, I think I earned that 20. He was actually going to give it to me.
Yeah.
I said, no.
You were a good, kind man, Patrick. They will write songs about you. Minstrels will share. No, you're a good, kind man. And I know from my own experience, I have met a lot of people in the world, like a lot, like thousands and thousands from all my jobs. And you are a good, kind man, my friend.
Well, thanks. You know,
Don't thank me. I didn't do it. I just noticed it.
You know, it's just I can't live with myself if I was to, you know, do something that I don't think was right. You know, like I knew in my head he didn't mean to give me that 20, but I could have rationalized it and kept the 20. But I just could not live with myself if I did that. I just couldn't. But I was not like that my whole life. I'm telling you, my 20s, teenage years in my 20s I was a wild one. But it took me. I'm not kidding.
Did you fight in your 20s? Did you fight people?
Did I fight?
Yeah, did you fight people in your 20s?
Yeah, I got into a lot of bar fights.
Yeah, me too.
A lot of fights at parties.
Yep.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I have 5. I shouldn't even be saying.
You don't have to say it. You don't have to say it. I have stitches from my 20s from fighting fights that were not mine. They were not my fight. I got into it. I have stitches. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I paid enough child support in my life to buy a few houses.
Right
And
on. Spread your seed. Nice job.
I had 5 kids by 5 different women, so I was a rambunctious youngster. I paid a lot of child support. They're all grown up. My last one is 17, and she's going to be 18 soon. And I love them all. Each one has their own character. You know.
Well, yeah, and your daughter, the one you make videos with, going to get ice cream, and you're a good father. It's obvious you're a good dad, so all's good. It doesn't matter what a fuck up you were in your 20s. It doesn't matter what a fuck up I was or Chris was.
Either. My first son,
I was.
You know, he when I got married, he did not like that. I wasn't, I lost a lot of time with him that, I wish I would have chosen differently to spend more time with him. I screwed up on the first couple, but after that, I try to do my best to be there. But my oldest son's 32 years old, so
wow,
yeah. I was good cop, still am. And Smurfer Girl, I did swing from the weeping willow branches like Tarzan. Dark Slayer, it's okay, Smurfer. We know you were a wild child. Smurfer Girl, I wasn't wild. I did sneak out, but just to go rollerblading. Man, we all have zero dickhead policy. Let's see, what else do we have? Dark Slayer, yeah, I think they already did. Oh, hop back on. Yeah, already did. Pretty sure the band's name is Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba Tub Thumping is the song. And if you play it, you will get a copyright strike.
Oh, really?
Absolutely.
Well, you might not get a strike. You'll just get a copyright notice.
Who was it that I seen playing 80s music? I'm like, why is he able to do that? Any 80s music I play,
dude, some of the old stuff they don't give a shit about. You just have to be careful which label owns it.
Oh, okay.
That's the trick. Whichever, like Ace of Base, you can play Ace of Base all day long. Nobody gives a shit. And Smurfer Girl just said Ace of Base. Nobody gives a shit. You can play that.
Oh, Chappelle said, oh, okay. And then she said she can't hear Chris very good. Mad Pyman, we should always try to help.
We should go for it, Esther Glenn. Always go for it, 100%.
Not if you play the karaoke version. Oh, okay. I was sharing Media Bear hits with my neighbors yesterday. Brenda, we shall have a nice long conversation later. Smurfer Girl. Most strikes come from showing the video just to only play 15 seconds. I tried that. I got a strike. I tried doing so many seconds and then talking for a few seconds and going back to it. I still got one. I was playing music and was taken down to 2 weeks ago. Joe Dirt says, Smurfer Girl cover song goes through fine more often.
Yeah, but
Hey,
don't the covers suck?
Good Montana Girl, good night, and all you other good souls. Bye. See you later, Texas, Stanley. What did you
Texas
say?
Danny. Oh, I said, but don't most of the covers just kind of suck? No, you don't
mean the
like most of the
karaoke?
covers. No, the cover songs, don't they kind of suck?
Oh, yeah. I just got a strike
because
on my movie channel.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, they don't go fooling around. Dark Slayer says, face it, though, if they have you on their radar, you're screwed. Yeah, no doubt. Smurfer Girl, Elgo, are you trying to peer pressure Patrick?
I am not trying to peer pressure Patrick into anything. Just I can't type, but just talking.
Yeah, what's he peer pressuring me into?
Playing a song that gets you a copyright infringement is what she's saying. Because of everybody, Smurford likes to make sure I am in check, and I appreciate it, dude. I appreciate it.
The minute I try to pull something else up with 4 people in the room, my computer's gonna crash. So
Right.
there's no way I would even be able to try to play anything. Joe Dirt says, did you have movies night yesterday, Smurfer? I was out playing with friends and eating barbecue, so I never looked. Poof. No, it's not. Laugh out loud. Elgo. And, I got a private chat message. What did I do now?
So I could like share screen in StreamYard and play a video and get you a copyright strike, or not a copyright strike, but a copyright notice that would make you not be able to monetize your video. But I don't want to do that.
Smurfer
And
Girl, I checked up on Joel a couple nights ago to make sure he went to bed before the sun came up. Crunchy B, what's your movie channel, Smurfer? Link it.
Crunchy B knows that answer.
Oh, that
So
was
anyway,
rough, Smurfer.
Anyway, Patrick. So question for you, my friend. Can I ask you a question, Patrick?
Sure. Go ahead.
As you navigate this reality, does it seem more simulation or more organic Mandela effect?
That's a tough one.
I know. That's why I asked it.
I'll go elaborate on that.
I'm leaning towards simulation.
Chris, go ahead, Chris.
No, I just wanted you to elaborate on that question.
Well, is our this experience when we wake up and we're in this place and we know we've been lied to like tenfold about everything, and we're sitting here and we're trying to figure out where we are and what's going on. Is it more simulation effect or is it more Mandela effect?
I mean, the Mandela effect is showing. I think the Mandela effect is showing us some sort of simulation.
Oh, bingo. See, perfect. I love that.
Yeah, because every day is changing, and I'm calling it the Mandela effect. But the where we are, it's alive and it can hear you. And I believe that if it wants to, it can interact with you, your personal life. I think lots of things that happen to us, um, the things seem fake. You know, like I don't know how to explain it. It just seems uh, like we are in here to play some sort of game, or we're in here as our other bodies heal from something that happened to us. So we've been put here to keep our conscious occupied. I don't know. I think of a lot of different things.
Got
I
it.
want to figure it out, you know. So I'm constantly thinking of different scenarios, and I might be writing each one. You know, I mean, I think we all know that we create our reality. Like it's up to us uh, to get out of here. And
Where
I
where
don't
where
know.
are we
I
gonna
don't know
go?
where it is. I don't to our higher selves.
Okay, when Preliminal had a really smart comment, I think it can respond to a person individually. So the reality can respond to an individual
Yeah, I agree
person
with that.
individually, right?
Yeah,
So if you have a
yeah,
dream about a woman or a person or a thing, this reality might be putting time and space together for you as you.
could be.
Preliminal thought so I wanted to share.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
Prelim. The reason why I don't have the background I usually have is because I'm not in my office. I'm in my living room. So I chose to do the show out here. Um, but the changes, I don't know what's going on. But it's moving quicker and quicker. Like I'm seeing changes every day in people and out there. You know, the sky don't even look normal to me anymore. You know, I mean it looks it looks really weird. It looks beautiful actually. So, do you guys watch the sun come up at all?
I do a
How
lot because I work so early. Yeah.
yeah, the beautiful colors that it's got. It looks like a sunset. You know, I don't remember ever having that when the sun would come up that it would show all them colors all the time now. You know, before when the sun came up, it just came up and it just it was just the sun. It wasn't all these colors in the background. I don't know what your guys' reality was like, but that's how mine is. It it's all new to me.
Are you liking it? Are you liking the newness and the experience of enjoying something brand new, or is it oppressive?
No, I like it. I mean, it's beautiful. Um, I like the double rainbows. These new man animal pets or what Mandela pets or not pets but animals. Uh, but yet it's still so weird that we don't know what's going on, but we know something is going on. We
Right.
know this is. We know that we can talk to this reality and it will respond to you. Like, even if you say, show me a bus or that's too easy. Ask it to show me a ace of diamonds within 24 hours. Within 24 hours, you'll see an ace of diamonds somewhere.
Right.
It'll throw it in your face. It's so weird.
So the question for me then next is it something other than everything we've been told?
Everything we've been told is a lie.
Right. So it's something other than everything we've been told. And we don't know what that is. But we're trying to figure it out.
Right. And I'm sure, Chris, you sound really bad. We can't even hear you.
Okay, I'll try to go and come back in.
It's crazy how this place changes so much. And to think that we were asleep to this a while, years ago, we were asleep ourselves. It's so hard to live around people that don't know what's going on.
So what do you do with them? What do you do with them?
I want to move on. I want to move on. I want to get higher. But it
I
seems
understand.
Yeah.
I get it. We want to elevate. We want to go to the next place. But what do we do with them who don't get it while we're here? That's a question I have for you.
You might want to put a link up.
All we can do is warn them about what's going on. Is that what you mean?
Well, I mean, it's not even that, but can we have as much compassion for each other as we have for those who don't have it and don't get it? Can we be as kind and generous to them while they're trying to understand?
I think we can, but it's harder.
It's way harder. Oh my God. You just want to punch him in the fucking face. Literally, you just want to punch him in the face and say, you're a retard for wearing a mask.
It's very testing. It's a test. It's testing you. And
because it's not testing them, it's testing you, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
No, that's just like walking up to an ant on the sidewalk. You can step on that ant and kill it, but why would you want to? I mean, I suppose if it was infesting your house and eating your wood or whatever, yeah. I mean, but no, I don't know. I've changed so much since 2016.
Yep.
It's like me being a whole new consciousness. Like, it's almost like other consciousnesses have merged with me. Like, other me's have merged with me, and I'm learning so much more and opening up even further. I'm getting I'm getting more crazier. To other people, I look literally fucking crazy. The way I talk, the more I wake up, the crazier I seem to get to other people. Yeah.
Put a link out for Chris.
Oh. There you go, Chris. It is in the chat.
She hasn't asked yet, but I'm assuming she.
Joe Dirt says, honestly, everything I have ever needed was placed beside me. Always be positive and give a glory to the Lord. Yeah. Prelim, I live near a lake and I like the sunrise. So how about you guys? Do you guys feel like we're in some sort of reality and the Mandela effect is showing us that? Or what do you guys feel?
I looked at the Mandela effect more like a wake up sign, and I'm trying not to focus on it too much because it's a very small part of a much bigger thing. And I don't want to get caught up in the details and miss the event.
I
How about you?
actually have a theory on that. The
Yeah,
levels
what's your
of reality, nature, and the supernatural, or natural and supernatural, they seem to have all three merged together. Does that make sense? So reality, natural, and the supernatural have all merged together, or are
Blending.
Go ahead, Al. Go ahead, Algo.
No, keep going, Chris, but they're blending.
So if you divide, the reality is what you can see, what you can touch, what you can feel. It's what you, as you perceive the world that you're in, right? Then supernatural is the unexplained, or the things that happen that have no explanations. And the natural is what you can explain. And it's like all three of these levels either leaked into each other or have merged in some way. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally. Makes total sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So what you're
It's
seeing
interesting.
what you're seeing in reality is the supernatural kind of either merging or leaking into the reality. And then the natural of what you can explain may not be the reality because the supernatural has entered the reality.
Yep. And we were not prepared for that to enter that reality.
No, none of us were.
Nobody taught us. Nobody said this is what's going to frickin' happen.
It happens every 30 years. I've been telling all of you. 30 years. It happens every 30 years. Now, whether it corrects itself or it's just the way it's going to be for the rest of our lives and we're able to see it, I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but
You have all the right questions, though.
yeah, but I can say that I've seen, I don't call it the Mandela effect. Everybody knows that. It's supernatural shit. And that's what I've seen. Some supernatural shit in the past 4 years that doesn't make any sense, that is not natural. It cannot be explained logically, rationally, or any other way except for the fact it's supernatural.
Right. And isn't that kind of jarring? Doesn't that kind of like jar you to your core?
I think it panics. I think for me personally, it was primal fear set in. For me personally. And I went through all the levels of primal fear. After that, now I'm at the point of, okay, is this how we're going to do this? All right. And I sit back and observe.
And wait, or
Yeah,
wait to discern and wait to.
Yeah, basically observe and wait and see what's coming next. And it doesn't always have to be a negative thing. There's some positive things that have come out of this. But the initial realizing it is jarring.
How about you all keep your eyes open for an ace card? Y'all gonna be shown an ace card.
Okay. I will. I'll look for it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Algo. I want you all to look for that ace card.
Okay. So if the
No
supernatural has now entered the natural and reality has now entered the natural and the supernatural, and the three are mixing together, you don't know what you're going to get next. And that's why people seem to quote unquote change rapidly that aren't aware of it. Does that make sense?
Total.
Sorry.
And no, it totally makes sense. And once we catch up to those changes, then we have to recalibrate the place where we are and how we see the world, right?
Yes, it's like an adaptation. You have to adapt to it.
Yes.
If you don't, it seems
You're fucked.
Yeah, those are the
Sorry,
people.
Patrick. I apologize.
Oh no, you're fine. You're absolutely fine. Voynich, yeah, only one ace, not a pocket. Just one ace.
Who gets pocket aces, Voynich? Nobody gets pocket aces.
Let's see. I was looking for David. David, where are you? Where are you, David? I just seen this damn comment from you.
Scroll up.
Oh, it was Crunchy Bee. Sorry. Crunchy Bee says I will take a picture of it. You do that, Crunchy. Make sure you show me. Text me your ace that you find. Voynich, I do every tournament I play to be TBH. TBH. What does TBH mean? Tournament to play.
To be honest, maybe.
Is that what that means? The backhand? Yeah. What did you say?
To be honest.
To be. Oh, okay. All right. Thanks. Oh boy. Okay. 3.5 hours. How about you guys? You think you had enough? Have you guys had enough for the night?
Well, I got to go to bed, so whether I want to or not, I have to go.
I have to get up in 3.5 hours.
Being responsible sucks.
So, and I gotta take a shower yet.
Oh.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna call it for the night, guys. And if you're really good, I may be on tomorrow night.
Algo, when are you going to be on next too?
Is Algo gonna do a show tomorrow or no?
I don't know. Is he here? Algo.
Yeah, he's here. I'm just playing with him.
Everybody.
You gonna do a show tomorrow? See you later, Cammy.
See you, Cammy.
So I bid you all a good night, and I appreciate you guys coming in and spending time with me. I appreciate Algo and Chris for coming on the panel and talking. If you guys have any last words that you want to tell everybody, go for it.
I do, but I want my friend Chris to go first. Go ahead, Chris.
Well, hopefully we get to talk again and soon. That's all. Everybody have a good night.
Oh,
Yeah, you
you're
too,
so
Chris.
sweet.
Thanks for coming in. Appreciate ya.
You too, Patrick.
It's good to hear your voice, Chris.
Thanks, Algo. Hopefully we get to chat soon about what I was just talking about.
I hope so too.
Okay.
Click on my stream.
I will.
All
Good
right. Good night.
Hey, good night.
So, my friend Patrick,
Yes, sir.
this week I probably don't have anything because I have got like too much ridiculous work. But that being said, being here with you tonight, my friend, is so fun. And I am a little bit like tired and stupid and slurry. And it's not because of beer, it's because I am exhausted. I had a
Yeah.
long week.
Yeah, I've been there, buddy. I know how you're feeling.
Yeah, but and I hope that when you feel disempowered, that you just throw that shit off and you watch the stream back and you look how many great people are in the chat and you don't feel disempowered and you feel totally empowered because Joe Dirt's here, Smurfer Girl's here, Esther's here, Crunchy Bee. Smurfer is like, she's got 90 days before she can stream. And you can stream and you get to do it. And you get to bring Esther with us and you get to bring Poliminal. I mean, epic channel. Poliminal's got an epic channel. And here he is with you. So
Yeah.
when you get in those doldrums where you're like, well, maybe I'm not gonna, and maybe I blah, blah, blah. No, fuck that. Everybody who comes to your channel wants to hear you say hi. And I learned that from a friend of mine when I was about to bail on my channel. She's like, no, they actually like you. They want to see you. And I think the same thing for you, my friend. When you come on, anybody who's available who likes you is going to come in here. So don't get that, what is it, sophomore slump, they call it in baseball. Just keep going. Keep sharing your truth. Keep going for it because, man, that's why we're here right now. And it is like in the middle of the night for most of the country, but we're all here right now, right here for you.
Yeah, I mean, in 2017, for a long time, I had something tell me that I needed to start live streaming. I've had YouTube since 2009.
Wow. Have you really?
Yeah, I never put any videos on except for my daughter did the ice challenge, and that's the only video I had on from 2009 to 2017.
Wow.
I mean, I'm like, well, so I get this in my head all the time. You have to go on. I don't want to go on. I don't want to show myself. I don't want to do that, you know. But something kept nagging at me. You got to start doing live streams. I'm like thinking, I don't know how to do them. I've never done them in my life. Why would I want to do them? What would I talk about? Well, obviously, we start talking the Mandela effect. But yeah, if it wasn't for God or my angels or whatever poking at me, I would never have came on. I would never be doing this.
And you do a really good job. I just personally, you do great job. I love your channel. I am always happy to be a part of it or to watch it after. So
Thanks, I appreciate that.
yeah, of course you're welcome. But you've earned it. You not earned it from me, but you've earned it for yourself. So Just do what you got to do, brother.
Yeah, and I love your shows. Are you? By the way, are you going? Oh yeah, you already answered that. All right. So hopefully you get to. We will get to see one of your shows next week. Hopefully.
Yeah.
I will try to get on more, guys. I really will try. It's just I don't know what it is weighing me down. It's just.
So, Patrick, why don't you come on my channel with me?
Sure, I can do that.
All right. Like for a long time, not like for like 10 minutes or whatever, just for a long time.
Yeah, I could co-host with you for a night.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right. Let's do that.
Okay. Then I get to meet a lot of your followers.
Yeah, which all of them are all of yours. You and I cross-sect in a huge way.
Pretty much. There's only a few people in yours that I really don't know. But
Right.
But yeah, definitely just shoot me a message.
I
or
will.
whatever.
Yeah, I'll get a hold of you.
Okay. Sounds
Let's do
good.
that. All right, buddy. Take good care. I'm so glad you're healed up and ready to go.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Until next time.
All right, Uggle. You have a good night. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, you as well. Thank you for having me on. It's so nice to be part of your stream.
Anytime, man.
All right, buddy.
All right. See you later, bud.
Talk to you later. Good night.
Joe Dirt, we are proud of you, Patrick, and many of us have much love towards you. Keep going on strong. Thanks, Joe. Come on tomorrow, Patrick. Yeah, I will. I'm sure I will. I'll definitely. Unless something pops up, but I don't know. But yeah, I still look swollen over here. And I look really bloated the way I look on camera. So, anyways, I thank Elgo for coming on, Chris for coming on, and Kim for coming on. I appreciate you guys. You guys always have great input. Hey, Craig. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. Appreciate you coming all the time, Craig. And Joel, are you thinking about doing a live stream tonight now, Joel? Usually you go on right after me, and you're on until 4 in the morning, and I watch you as when I get up in 3.5 hours. You'll still be on there. Streams. He has good streams. And I hope your health is doing well, Joel. Glad the shingles went away, Patrick. They didn't suit your baby face. Thanks, Smurfer girl. Yes, but it was joking. Maybe he is, though. All right, guys. You guys have a good night and be safe. Stay vigilant. And I love you guys. Take care of yourself.